So first,
Absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast. And it's a very special edition because it is the episode that Meredith and I will be diving in to all things Love Island USA season 6. It's taken over our lives. It's taken over the world.
An all-inclusive episode.
So that's basically all we're going to talk about today. Sorry if you miss our bantering or updates on anything, but
the banter will still happen. I feel like we should maybe do just a quick high and low.
Quick check-in?
Yeah.
I'm still unemployed, so all I'm doing is watching TV. What's up with you?
Hopefully work isn't listening, but I've been doing zero work because I'm just exhausted, so I'm taking the time for me.
Amazing. Well, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. All of our links, TikTok, Patreon, and Instagram are in our description.
Bio description, whatever you want to call it.
Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and definitely go check out our socials, okay? They were kind of bumping. I've never bumped on social media, so I didn't know what to do with myself. And I think I was stressing Meredith out a little.
Like 4 months ago when you were like, Meredith is like having her moment on TikTok. It is Alicia's time, everybody.
The fact that a lot of people have seen my video with my face makes me nervous.
It's hard to not watch and watch all at the same time.
Yeah. So shout out to me, Mom. I'm famous.
Look at me, Mom.
Terrible. Okay, can we dive right in? I'm dying to talk to you about this.
Absolutely. Take it away, my girl.
Okay, so Meredith, I'd like you to confirm, because I believe this is true, but was this your first season of Love Island USA?
As a whole, yes. I'd seen episodes of Love Island USA, I think during COVID when they had it in Vegas. I think that was the season.
Yeah, like season 2 or something, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like this compared to UK, so I'm not continuing on.
This was my first ever
episode
dip in the pool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I figured if I'm going to watch like people on reality television, I want them to have accents.
I understand.
So I've always been a UK girl, but this took us by storm.
It used to be a CBS show, so it would be You and I Love Big Brother, so it would be on after Big Brother during the summer. Can you imagine 3 days of Big Brother in like 6 of Love Island? That's when I was like, oh, I'll stay around and watch an episode to see if I like it, and I didn't.
I'm happy it's not. I don't know. That would be, I can't imagine this on network television. I know in Love Island or in the UK it is, but they swear a lot.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. That like it being on Peacock meant that we heard every fuck, Aaron.
Yeah, we heard swears.
Yeah,
but like Love Island UK showed a lot, even though we're getting it on Hulu. So I think the UK has different standards for what's allowed on television.
Internationally, it is definitely different for sure.
Yeah, but. So I never watched, but this was fun, and I've heard this is the best season of US. So
same.
Happy that this is where I dip my toe in, because maybe I'll be more likely to give it a try. But Meredith, what were your thoughts on this season overall?
Well, you and I watched it at different times, so that's such an interesting experience. I remember sitting down for episode 1 because Ariana was the host saying, I'm going to give my support, let her have a really good premiere episode.
Oh, I love that.
And I didn't think I would watch any more of it. But honestly, from episode 1, I was pretty in, and I was kind of bored. I mean, I work from home now. I mean, I have this whole since the pandemic, but I never tried Love Island USA. And I was like, you know what? Like, let's go. Like, UK wasn't popping out quick enough for me. So I was like, might as well watch 2 seasons.
Yeah. I watched it when packing in like mid-June, I would say. I was like, Meredith said it's pretty good, so I'll just give it a shot. And I expected it to be a packing show, but I ended up not really paying attention to my packing because I was enthralled immediately. But then I went on vacation for like a month, and I didn't have Peacock on my iPad, and so I didn't watch it. And then that was the first thing I did when I stepped back in my apartment as an unemployed person.
Did you ever get spoilers? Because I know it was all over social media this year.
I got some spoilers. Like I knew, and I mean, this wasn't like a big thing, but I knew like the PPG. I saw that like, because when I had left, the last episode I had seen was Rob had just chosen Andrea over Leah, and then he cried
when he
in the
like
pool.
Stood up. Yeah.
Yeah, he cried in the pool. That was like the last thing I saw. And so then I saw like Leah with Miguel, and I was like, that's weird. But I really did try to avoid. I didn't know about Kenny.
Okay.
And I didn't find out the winner. I avoided that somehow. And obviously that like took a while for us to get to even. But like I knew Casa was crazy, and I knew like Aaron did something bad. So I like knew stuff, but I stayed away from the specifics.
That makes sense. Okay, good. I'm glad you got it kind of in its entirety.
And overall, US did a good job. I think Ariana did a really good job as host. I heard one of my friends said she was kind of bland. And I was like, well, she's hosting. She's not going to like get involved.
She is not meant to be the star.
Yeah, my friend was like, she's like not even like hanging out with the girls. And I was like, that's not her job.
Had this person ever watched UK?
This was their first dip in Love Island. They're a big Bachelor person, so it's very different.
That's definitely well, it's not like Chris Harrison ever like hung out with the cast.
I don't know. And for people who have never seen Love Island, the host comes in 3 or 4 times in a season, but it's mostly just text messages. Like it's really 100%. Just to scare the contestants to be like, she's back, and everyone's like.
Actually, even more so in UK, like Maura Higgins did After Sun, but like the actual hosts After Sun on the UK version.
Yeah.
So that's where more of the legwork comes in.
Yeah. So overall, though, great season, terrible reunion. Which disappointed me. I'm gonna say it.
I guess I believed in them more because it was Peacock. We are Bravo stans. You know, like we in this sphere understand reunions. So I just didn't even question that it could be bad. But it is different production companies probably, and it's not Bravo. Like Bravo has a formula.
Look, I don't know who edited this and who said good to go, but you should have hired us and run it by us. I'm telling all these shows, like, just let us watch first, pay us to watch it, and we'll let you know what's working and what's not.
I have to assume, because we're not TV producers, that there's always a goal. And not just like, oh, viewers and ratings. Like, there has to be a goal out of a reunion, right? Like, a lot of times on Bravo, they always say they want the housewives to come back together, you know, and basically be made friend as a whole, like a friend group. So you kind of want resolution in your reunions. And I just don't feel like there were goals in this reunion.
Well, we'll dive into the reunion more because I have some theories that we'll get to.
Good. I want to be on conspiracy theory TikTok about this.
Amazing. But let's jump into the season, shall we? So I, as someone who's unemployed, watched the season twice, and I took notes the second time around. When I tell you I have nothing to do.
Oh, I love that.
I miss them. I felt like when this ended, my friends were gone for the summer. It felt like camp. Like I was leaving camp and I just missed them.
I have never loved a cast more.
So much.
Like, even as a whole. Like, I'll even put Aaron in that boat. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed watching every person. Whereas usually on even like Love Island UK, I'm like, oh, I really like this couple and this couple. But not everybody brings it for me.
Yeah.
I loved everybody here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay, so let's start. Let's meet our Islanders really quick. So our starters are Leah, Janae, Serena, Kaylor, Hannah, Rob, Aaron, Kendall, Cordell, Coy. It's hard to get into episodes of Love Island because you just like don't care about these people at first. But can I say, we started this season strong with a kissing challenge where they all icebreaker kiss, which on the UK version, kissing's a really big deal. So this shocked me.
And They really mixed it up from I do know that Love Island past Love Island USA seasons didn't start like this. UK seasons don't start like this. Like they've always been mixing up, at least in recent years, especially on UK, like how they get paired up. But you usually get paired up and then you start meeting people. I really loved.
I kind of like this.
I loved this.
Are Americans just like sluttier? That were like, yeah, we'll kiss. Because some of the UK girls have been like in a kissing challenge. They're even like, I don't really want to kiss.
Like, but I feel like that's even rare for UK.
Oh, I feel like kissing's a big deal.
I always feel like it's a big deal outside of challenges. So I think a lot of people would have dubbed this a challenge and been more okay.
True. I mean, it was wild. And I liked watching all the kissing.
It got me interested in these people very quickly.
It got me interested in the show too and the dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have to couple off, and basically I'm just gonna go to like the couples we start with, right? So we have Leah and Rob, which I thought from the beginning was a perfect pairing. I was like, these two are gonna go to the end together. Serena and Cordell, which they seemed fine, they matched. So I thought like, okay, maybe. Kayla and Aaron, also I was like, perfect couple. Janae and Coy, I thought perfect couple. And then Hannah and Kendall were like the leftovers. And I was like, they'll break up in 2 seconds.
I totally agree about Hannah and Kendall.
First bombshell comes in, they're out.
Either one of them will be interested. Yeah, it just didn't seem like they had any chemistry, which is fine. Like that actually is to be expected with like 90% of the couples, just in general. Like you can't match with everybody.
Which is why I was surprised a lot of these couples. I was like, it seems like this might work out.
How weird would that have been if like, because what is that, 5 couples? If like 4 out of 5 lasted?
I mean, I really thought, I was like, this is a good mix. And to Hannah and Kendall's credit, they did try to get to know each other on a romantic level. Yeah. Like, never forget when they made out and then Hannah's makeup was all over Kendall's face like he ate a powdered donut and scared the shit out of me.
I appreciate the effort.
They tried. Mm-hmm. So then we have our first bombshell come in, Liv. Immediately I liked Liv. I thought there was something fun about her.
Was it because of the accent, though?
No. Because, can I just say, I was pissed Aaron was here, and I was pissed Liv was here, because I was like, it's supposed to be American.
Oh, and did you know right away that Aaron was from Traitors, UK?
No, I know.
Okay, I did. I watched that season.
Oh.
So
did you like him on that season?
Yes. Yeah, I have very different opinions from him on Traitors and on...
Well, he won as a faithful, didn't he?
He was really good at that show. And not in like a super manipulative, like how I would dub probably like challenge, Survivor, Big Brother people. Like it, while it is a strategy game, if you're a faithful, you are just...
It's hard.
You're like, it is so hard that you kind of fall into it. I wouldn't want
to be a faithful. I'd rather fail as a traitor than like spend 1 minute as a faithful.
Yeah. So all these people being like, oh, he's a gamer. I think he is a gamer when it comes to reality TV. Like he wants to play the game of producing a show. Yeah. But I don't think he's like, oh my God, I can crush this and win the money, because as a faithful on your show, you cannot.
Yeah. I think he's similar to that of like a Lala and Vanderpump Rules, where he knows what the producers are looking for and he'll do it. That is
such a good comparison.
Like he'll do it.
Yeah. Hey,
no regard for people's feelings, which is great TV. In the end, shout out.
True.
Okay, so Liv comes in, bombshell, immediately has to get to know the guys, and within like 24 hours has to pick a guy to steal.
Which, that is one of the for people who have never watched this type of show, that is the hardest thing about being a bombshell, I feel like.
We have to just come in and anger people
everybody
who even in this short amount of time have loyalties to each other before they have loyalties to you, which is a big part of Love Island, is the loyalties and how you go
all
about
across
things.
the board. Oh, which I love. It's the social politics, because you're entering into a whole new version of society in a sense. About, I always hear this with like Big Brother, like there's always new rules with every season on like how the dynamics have to work. And I love that every cast makes their own rules every single year on all these types of shows.
I love it. So, Liv gets to know the guys. I honestly thought she was vibing most with Aaron. I was like, they seem to get along. But she ends up stealing Rob from Leah. And Leah's now single. Leah and Rob are both upset about this because they really liked each other.
I was devastated. I thought that they were such a good match.
Soulmates.
Yes.
Soulmates, those two.
And like they were getting on like a house on fire, so it was interesting to watch. Like
that is such a UK term, is a house on fire.
I was like, who are we gonna watch? Like, who else is gonna happen
while we're on the topic. So the UK version has words that we have come to learn because they're like British slang that us dumb Americans don't know. And so I have learned these throughout the 5.5 seasons I've watched. And Kendall specifically brought over all those words, and they sound so weird with an American accent.
It felt forced.
Just to give you a few, Kendall would be like, I feel mugged off.
Oh my God.
That was something I had to Google my first season. I didn't know what mugged off meant.
That was such a shock because I started Love Island UK, I think 3 or 4 seasons into when it had been airing.
Yeah.
So like adapting to their language and their just the speech like that they
was
use.
Different. It was different.
It's fun.
I was like, what's mugged off mean? Oh, it means like dismissed or like ignored or like whatever. So
there's so many meanings and so many different, I mean, they're all like essentially the same.
Yeah, but to hear it in an American accent on an American show.
No, and we don't have a 1-to-1 word for it.
Yeah, you could have just been like, I feel dissed. But he's like, I feel mugged off. Another one he said was, oh, I'm buzzing. And I would go, him and Nicole always. Oh, I bet Serena's buzzing right now.
Oh my God.
That means like, I bet they're happy. I bet they're like excited. I didn't know that's not an American.
No. There was one though that, because I don't know if you watched all the After Suns, but I was so desperate for anything that I started to watch the After Suns.
Yeah.
That they tasked Liv with bringing fanny flutters into the game. And
no, that was like Andrea and Nicole. Liv got
that's what it is.
Word.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Because they asked Liv to basically be the one to say it.
Yeah,
like, they like goaded her into saying
like, Liv,
it.
what's that thing? Which made sense because Liv is
Australian.
They said, a foreigner. Yeah. They would call themselves foreigners, which was hilarious too.
I was like, it is so funny how hard Love Island US producers, it feels like, are trying to get these words into their game.
Well, then it was gutted, which I was like, that's another, oh, I'm gutted.
No.
But then my favorite was, they'd always go, should we go make some toasties? And I was like, it's just a grilled cheese.
I always thought toasties were different until I saw them make a grilled cheese on this season of Love Island USA.
We go have our toasties.
I thought it was maybe an open-faced, basically grilled cheese, or like basically a quesadilla or like a rolled up version of a quesadilla. I always thought it was something different.
It's just funny also when like Kaylor, who has a very like prominent accent of like that of Pittsburgh, she would go like, can we make our toasties? No, but Kendall and Nicole were driving me up a wall. Stop saying buzzing. And they'd say it like 4 or 5 times too. They'd be like, oh, Janae is buzzing, Leah is buzzing, Cordell is buzzing. I'd be like,
it gave stop trying to make fetch happen.
It's not going to happen. Anyway, so Leah's single, her and Rob still like steal little moments, which I was really excited about. They were like kissing on the deck.
That's one of my favorite things about couples being broken up is them like basically trying to make it still happen.
Yeah. I was my friend's guru through her first season of Love Island. She didn't understand why Liv was upset that Rob and Leah snuck away for a kiss. I will say, kissing's a big deal in Love Island, but also, yeah, it's respect. When you're coupled up with someone else, you can't mug them off, let's say, like
you
that.
You can kiss somebody else, but you got to be upfront with the person. They have to hear it from you. There's
a lot of rules.
There are a lot of rules.
There are rules that we're accustomed to.
In this Love Island society, there are rules.
So Liv's mad. I didn't care because I really was rooting for Rob and Leah.
Me too.
I thought
they
were
shut up, Liv.
So hot together. Anyway, so Leah's single, and almost immediately, it's okay because we get 2 new bombshells, Connor and Hakeem. listen, when Connor walked in, I went forgetful but exciting. And then
I was excited because they were like kind of like bigger dudes. So we
they were
got to do
bigger
like
dudes.
body type, I would say.
Yeah.
And
Like
everybody's
muscular.
type is different. Yes. Yeah, they're a little bit more stacked because a lot of these guys were a little bit more scrawny.
Hakeem drove me up a wall within the first 3 minutes of being there because so the girls all sat with him, if you were like him and Connor, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, "Oh, so tell us about yourself." And he's like, I don't know what Hakeem said. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here looking for love. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm just excited to be here. You know what I'm saying?" I was like, play the drinking game. Every time this guy says, "You know what I'm saying?" Just drink.
Does you know what I'm saying or buzzing?
Oh my God,
you to the soul more.
Hakeem said it way more than Kendall said buzzing in the 3 days he was here. So up a wall. Anyway, so then we play a challenge. I love the challenges when they start drama, which this one did. So it was higher or lower. And that was the one where they would ask a question like, how many dollars has your girl spent on someone? Or the two that they asked both the boys and the girls was, how many people have you slept with and how many people is too many for your partner to have slept with, right?
Incredible questions.
Incredible. I don't have a problem with anyone sleeping with anyone. Whatever your number is your number. But it shows you the green and red flags, I will say, of people. Yeah.
Well, I loved the order that they asked the questions of saying like asking for the guy's number for their partner and then having their own body count.
Yeah. So the guys would be like, "Oh, if a girl sleeps with 15, it's too much." And then they would have slept with like 300. And you're like,
that's what it is. Because for me and my preference, I wouldn't want someone, I say this, but like my preference is they haven't like run a train through the entire country. Like I would love that, but I also would hold myself to the same standard. That's the thing. My bar would be for myself and my partner. But
yeah, like I can't
love
say
conquers all too.
Over 2 is too many when I've had more than 2 bars. You know, like it's just crazy. So the 2 red flags in this one were Aaron and Coy, because they both said really low numbers that they obviously exceeded.
For their partner, yeah.
And their partners both exceeded the numbers. Coy was very upset because Janae slept with like 24 people, and he's like, she's a liar. She told me a different number. Dude, she just met you like 38 hours ago. Literally, calm down.
We talked about loyalty with partners, but also like you've only known them for 5 minutes. So like while you owe them loyalty in the game of it all, I do not owe you much in the real life factor of my life.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
But 2 green flags, I will say, were Rob and Cordell, who both basically said like, I think Rob said like 500 because like that's a lot of people.
One said like infinity.
That was Cordell said infinity. Yeah. Those were great, big green flags because Cordell even said he's like, whatever you do before me.
I wasn't expecting that from either of them.
Me neither. Which is why I liked Rob. Again, I was like, I'm feeling Rob. I loved Cordell at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, this just made me kind of dislike Coy and Aaron a little bit.
Aaron just never sat great with me.
I thought he was fine. I didn't know what to make with him. But you had seen him previously, so.
I liked him on Traitors, but on this show, I don't think he's a dating show. Oh, you know what I think it might be?
What?
And this is judgmental of me, and I'm happy to own this. I think I often watch dating shows like these on would I pick these people, and that's how I decide, for the guys at least.
Yeah, same.
That's how I would decide, and I would never hang out with Aaron. So I'm always just like, you're annoying me.
Yeah, you know what? I can't even fault you because I thought of the same thing about Kendall. When I tell you Kendall, in the end, gave me the biggest ick in the house. Whoever tweeted this man is a walking ick in one of the challenges, it wasn't me, but I'm the other person that believes that.
But you're running to go like favorite that tweet.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that was an option, I was like, put it on my profile. That's tagged. Okay, so with that comes drama with Janae and Coy. Whatever, Janae starts to talk to Connor more. She's kind of feeling him. So then we have a recoupling. Rob and Leah finally get back together, which we were all excited for. Serena and Cordell stay together, although Serena's not really feeling Cordell like a spark, like romantically, but he's really feeling her. Kayla and Aaron are like already planning their future wedding at this point. Janae chooses Connor which I at first was kind of pumped about. I was like, kind of like this. They were talking about books and murder, and I was like, those are two of my favorite things.
They were like vibing on topics that like just made sense. Like you could just see the conversation was natural, which is always nice.
Hannah picks Kendall, which I was still like, oh, I just haven't found anyone better. And then Liv ends up picking Hakeem, which they vibed a little. They had like one conversation. So Coy is dumped from the island. Then we have that challenge. Okay, do you remember? It was called Vacation Vixens, and it was the one where all the girls had to shoot. First, they had to like throw buckets of water on people, like who's the most two-faced. But then
they had to do one to a girl and a guy. I think. Yeah.
But then where the drama started was they had to chuck like not a knife, but like a trident at a wheel of boys and pick which one they had to kiss.
Yes. And under the waterfall?
Yeah, under the waterfall. So the only one that missed their target was Serena. So like Cordell wasn't mad that she had to kiss someone else, but all the other girls started like going rogue from their partners, which like pissed the boys off, specifically Aaron. After this challenge, Aaron was like, how could you aim to kiss someone that wasn't me?
In the context, sometimes I think it's easy to fall into like, oh my God, it's Love Island and forget that it's only been a few days. But we are so early in the season that I don't think any viewer was like, wow, like what a betrayal. I think everybody's like, yeah, let's mix it up. Like, let's kiss people. Let's see if there's chemistry.
Sparks. Who cares? It's also a challenge kiss, so it doesn't really mean anything.
Okay, I have a question about that for you. How do you feel about the rule, like, because a lot of seasons adopt this, that in challenges it doesn't matter. Obviously in the villa, outside of a challenge, it matters. Like, how do you feel about that?
I think within a challenge, if you have to kiss someone else, then so be it. Like Serena accidentally didn't get Cordell and was like, fuck, I gotta kiss someone else. Like, yeah, would it suck if like when Kayla was like, I'm gonna go for, I don't know, Kendall or whatever, like would that kind of suck for Aaron? Sure. But I thought as a viewer, like, oh, Serena missed, so they're all just gonna miss their targets, to give like Cordell a chance to kiss someone and give like I thought they were just fucking around. I didn't think it was that big a deal. We've been here for 5 days. I don't really know you.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
I think when it happened matters, because later in the season I get like people get exclusive and they're like dating, and so I understand then challenge kisses mean a little bit more.
Like,
but
obviously if you miss like Serena, like fine, whatever. But then if you're not choosing the person you're with, then it sucks.
Yeah.
I also think though it showed really well how people like deal with stuff. Like Leah talked to Rob after, and Rob was like, I wasn't that mad. It's okay. And Leah's like, I didn't think you'd get mad.
Whereas that's a good idea to like kind of do it on purpose, just to see how they handle
5
not
days
so
in,
great
how
situations.
Are you handling it? And then Aaron was like yelling at Kayla about it.
You know what? Foreshadowing, if I've ever seen it.
Also at this point, Kayla's kind of like checking her vibes out with Connor because she's kind of into him. She does end up kissing him outside of a challenge, which again, Aaron is very upset by. He basically says if she picks Connor, like she'll never have a chance with me again. Okay. Blah.
What a threat.
Ooh, big loss, huh? So then we have the lingerie party, which Ariana shows up and she's like, hey everyone, for every couple, I have a blindfold and a handcuff. One of you needs to be handcuffed. One of you needs to be blindfolded. So they do that. And then they welcome 2 new bombshells into the villa.
Which, like, something it has to be coming.
Yeah.
But like, I was still not prepared.
No. So it was Andrea and Nicole in their lingerie. And when I tell you, I went, these 2 women banging bodies. I was like, the lingerie looks great. So they each got the chance to kiss 2 boys.
If I were a bombshell,
this
is how I want to come in. No, well, okay. I as Meredith do not want to do this.
As Alicia, this is the worst way a bombshell could come in.
But as a bombshell, sometimes they just get dropped in there and they have to like start their own conversations, like to kind of be, I'll say forced in a way, but like they kind of have to do this.
Yeah.
It breaks the ice with the people you are interested in without having to sit around a fire pit and be like, what's your type?
Yeah, what's your type on paper?
They were bombed in there.
So, Andrea chooses to kiss Rob and Aaron, which makes sense. Those two look like twins, like little cousins. They look like cousins.
What? She's a little cousin kisser?
She's kissing cousins. Oh, don't pretend like Aaron and Rob weren't the true love story of Love Island.
Oh,
These two
they
bros.
were.
So then Nicole.
But now they're cousins who are in love with each other?
Yeah. As a cousin. So Nicole picks Kendall and Cordell. Which Serena was the main one who was like, I'm fine, because at this point she had friend zoned Cordell. Like she had talked to him and been like, I'm not feeling it, you do you. So Serena was like, great. All of the other three girls were like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
It is terrifying. I would be, because also some of them were blindfolded. Some of them had to watch. I can't decide if I'd want to watch or not.
I would want to watch. I'd look straight at him and go, keep going. Like, what a nightmare to be coupled up with me. Like, more tongue. Just to, like,
really?
make it awkward.
Did you really enjoy that?
Yeah. How was that?
Rate it. Compare me to her.
Which the boys Andrea picked were handcuffed, but the boys Nicole picked were blindfolded. So I would want to be one of Nicole's picks because I'd watch. I'd sit right there
as the girl.
Maybe like play with her hair a little.
It would be kind of jarring though if you were the guy who's blindfolded and you're like, is she hot or not? Like
she took them off, and then it was immediately face. But Kendall even said, he's like, I kind of saw you, and then we were kissing,
and then they were blindfolded again. Yeah, so like you're like, was that would take me by surprise?
I would have been Serena, where I'm like, I'm happy for him, even when I wasn't. I'd be like, good for him, get it in. Anyway, so then Andrea and Nicole, I love a bombshell date. They get to pick two boys to go on dates with, and they go to like this beautiful beach. So Andrea picks Rob and Aaron. She kisses them both.
Yeah.
They both say, don't say anything till we can tell our girls. Great.
Which I don't understand the essence of saying don't tell anyone. Like, this is just between us. When you know on Love Island, or you should know, there's a whole movie night. Like, this is all being filmed. Because even if it doesn't work out with you and the person that you just said, don't tell anybody, this is recorded.
You're a liar. And then Nicole same has a kiss with Kendall and Cordell, which is, I think, fine, because Hannah and Kendall, you couldn't make me believe they liked each other. And then Serena has friend zoned Cordell. So they do go back to the villa, and so Andrea and Nicole show up last, and they're like, hey, and the Kayla and Leah specifically are like, did you kiss them? And they're like, yeah, but the boys didn't tell anyone.
No.
So they're a little like, ooh, that's not good. So then we have an amazing recoupling. Let me tell you, I love when they do crazy recouples like this. So basically, Andrea and Nicole stand up in front of everyone, and they get a text that's like, if anyone's interested in recoupling with Andrea or Nicole, please step to the front. And immediately,
I was like, this is messy.
This is telling.
Because you can't even blame it. Because, like, when Liv, came and recoupled with someone, like, Rob can blame it on, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, and he did say, he's like, I didn't think Liv would pick me. I didn't want her to pick me.
You got to put distance between you and the person who just picked you with your OG, or, like, your old partner.
So, almost immediately, you have Kendall, Cordell, and Hakeem all get up because they want to be paired with Nicole.
And that makes sense. Like,
that all made sense.
Kind of in the eyes of everybody, single but in couples.
Yeah. Hakeem and Liv aren't like love story either. So then we're sitting there, and Rob turns to Leah and just whispers, I'm sorry, and gets up and stands up in front of everyone.
Alicia, you couldn't write a more cinematic recoupling.
I screamed. I went, oh, no. I was so sad.
When he turned to her, I knew. And I felt like I was Leah. And the rage in my body, the sadness, like they were my favorite couple. Like,
I know, he ruined it
for me.
How
are you throwing all of this away?
I know.
Which has been like 4 days, but like,
how could you do this to America? I know. Yeah. The thing about Leah, though, is she's not going to show you she's cry hurt. She's going to show you she's mad hurt. So
you better sleep with one eye open.
She sits there and she's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So then Nicole picks Kendall.
So then awkwardly, Cordell and Hakeem have to go back to their
partners. Oh my God, Alicia.
Which Serena didn't care, but
I feel like
Liv
if you
was
got
what
up,
the fuck?
I do think if you got up, you should be single.
Yeah, please don't come back to me.
I did find it weird that they were like recoupled with their person.
Liv was like, I don't want this dude. It was hilarious. But then Andrea picks Rob to recouple with because these two are acting like they have just found love amongst each other in 12 hours. To which then Leah...
I didn't support it.
I didn't either. I didn't believe it. I think I just liked Leah and Rob better. It just seemed to flow. Andrea and Rob felt so like, oh, you like snakes? I like snakes.
It felt like, and I've done this, so no shame in the game, girly, but it felt like Andrea knew what conversations to have with Rob to click, and listen, that's what you should do. You should like find how to click quickly, but I didn't believe in it like they believed in it. And maybe that was the editing. Like, I just don't think the editors helped us fall in love with this couple like we got with Rob and Leah.
It wasn't fun. Like, Rob and Leah were fun talking to each other. They were like giggling.
It was bubbly.
Andrea and Rob felt like they're already old and married and I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, it's just us against the world type. And I was like, I don't fuck with that.
I need to fall for you guys.
So then we have our famous little Leah's my poor Leah. She's obviously fuming, if you will. And the girls are like, say what you need to say, just say it. And Leah's like, I'm not gonna. And they're like, just do it. And so Leah looks at Rob and she mouths, fuck you.
I love that she mouthed it.
Oh, and then Rob does his little, he puts his hand in his ear and he's like, what was that?
Oh,
and Leah goes, fuck you. And I went, yeah, fuck you.
And he like scoffed and rolled his eyes like, I can't believe she's being so dramatic.
Yeah,
like,
no.
As if I didn't just look at her and say I'm sorry and abandon ship.
Yeah, like 12 seconds after it was called.
He was like, why would you say fuck you to me? What did I do to you? Roll the tape, sir.
So, Leah's again single. And she's pissed. As I would be.
Because again, the disrespect. It's about moving respectfully in this house.
He never told Leah I might pick Andrea.
Well, it started with him on that date, like wanting to lie about the kiss and then like hanging out with Andrea, and it just never was respectful. And then to say like, oh yeah, I'm willing to throw our couple away because he could still get to know Andrea and be coupled up with Leah.
Yeah, and not diss Leah.
You didn't need to throw away the couple. Yeah. I think that's why it was like, you want to completely throw this away just for the shot like of maybe working with her.
You're throwing the chance away, and that's it. So, then at another point, right, the next night, everyone's like, Leah, go talk to Rob. So she walks up, this is my favorite, she walks right on up to Soul Tides.
Which he should have pulled her. Let's be honest.
For sure. They should have a conversation. But Leah walks right up to Rob and Andrea and Soul Tides and goes, hey, lovebirds, can I steal you for a second? And Rob goes, who, me? And Leah goes, no, I want her to fucking come with me. Of course it's you. And I went, yep.
Love her.
Go up. So
this is when I really fell in love with her.
This is really just an important part to talk about, too. They go to talk. Leah's trying to sit. They're both not great at expressing emotions. But Leah's trying to say, like, I was really hurt by what happened. Do you not think this is a thing anymore? And Rob, of course, is very upset. He's upset at Leah. And I, for the love of me while watching, could not figure out why. I was like...
It was definitely edited, though. Like, I knew editing had, terribly. Like, come into play where, like, we lost a lot of context. Like, clearly, all these conversations happen way, like, longer than we will ever see.
Oh, for sure.
So I knew a lot was missing.
But it didn't make sense.
I couldn't grasp what was happening between them.
He kept being like, it's always about you. Because she kept saying, like, I feel like, and he's like, it's always about you. It's always about you. And then he gets up and he does...
I know people are mad at him for being like, she's allowed to have feelings, but I was like, something had to happen where I weirdly did understand that he was mad and rightfully so, but also not at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't understand how he kept being like, it's always because she was, I felt like trying to start the conversation and say like, I feel hurt because this happened. And he kept saying like, you never ask how I'm feeling. And I was like, why?
I was like, how did we get to that?
Well, in my head, I'm like, why would I? You just dissed me.
Yes.
You mugged me off.
But then when he starts like sobbing, he like gets up. I'm like, something else is going on here.
Okay. So yeah, we missed a lot. But can I just say some of the greatest TV of my life? He gets up. He's like, I'll be right back. And he walks away and starts.
He goes like 10 feet over.
Yeah, he goes to right next door, starts sobbing, crying. And I think he's trying to hide from the camera, but he's sitting there crying. Then he lays down and cries, all while Leah is just sitting.
I think she can still see him.
Yeah, she's like sitting there going like, okay.
Okay, what am I supposed to do with this?
Her. So he left her mid-sentence to go cry 10 feet away. He cannot stop crying on the floor. He stands up, he walks around, and I was like, he's hurting.
He is spiraling. That's why I was like, something else is happening, because like you don't just like get frustrated in a conversation and like have this.
I knew something was happening, but I was laughing because I was like, he can't get away from these cameras, and it's so funny.
Or
it's
her,
so
because this is an open villa.
Yeah, or
he
honestly,
has nowhere
the whole
to go.
Villa. Yeah. So then he starts to walk back, and Leah's like, "Can you just sit down?" And he's like, "Okay." And I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at him crying. Just what was happening was so funny. Because then Leah is sitting there, she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "You just never ask how I'm feeling." And she goes, "How are you feeling?" You couldn't write it better. As someone who like Leah, who's not a crier, she didn't know what to do.
As someone who like ends up being like Rob when I feel overwhelmed, like I need to be alone. And so like it would actually send me to a mental hospital if I couldn't have 5 minutes alone to just have a meltdown, to have a tantrum.
He pulls a Carl Radke because they decide to end the conversation, and he goes, "Should we hug?"
I was like, no. So listen. Men on reality TV, I love that you want to show emotions. You should show emotions.
You should be vulnerable.
Can we, for my sake, can we stop with the hugs in the not correct timing? You can hug people. That wasn't it.
If the girl doesn't know why we're hugging, we shouldn't be hugging, I feel like.
If we didn't resolve anything, why are we, like, hugs are for, like, resolution.
So then they come down from this balcony they're on, and Leah walks away because she's like, that was the weirdest thing that's ever happened.
She wants to be as far away from that conversation as possible.
Rob doesn't know how to escape, so he ends up taking off his clothes.
Can't have a minute alone.
He starts stripping, which I was like, what? You know how sometimes guys, when they get like mad or overwhelmed, take off their clothes?
Yeah.
I thought that's what he was doing, but then he pencil dives into the pool and goes like under the deck of the pool.
Alicia, do you know what he has said about that since?
He didn't know we could see that.
Well, he had like scoped that out a few days prior
as an alone place,
and had like noticed, I think, as like looking around the villa, that like there was a ledge there, and he was like, "There's no cameras, nobody." But he thought no camera could see him.
I knew he thought he was really alone. So he went under, and we couldn't hear him because that was another thing. He's like, "Could you hear me?" We couldn't hear you, Rob, but we could see you floating around under this pool. But the best part was all the other islanders go, "Where's Rob?" And then it would cut.
Because they were like wrapping up the night that I think some of them were like started to walk inside. Yeah, like Rob? I don't think they saw him pencil dive into the pool.
They were all making toasties, and he went in, and everyone's like, "Where's Rob?" And then we get a shot of him under there, upset as can be.
He's like popping out and then going back in.
Going back in. His hand is hanging there. It was beautiful. Hilarious. And truthfully, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I'm pissed at him for ruining America's favorite couple.
I know.
I'm sad that he couldn't convey his emotions because we later find out why he was crying, and we'll get there. Mm-hmm. But I was like, this guy. What's going on?
I'm gonna be honest. I was concerned for the show. I was like, my favorite couple is over, and I was like, they are. A lot would have to happen for them to come back together.
Yeah.
But I was like, I am not interested in any of these other couples like so passionately. And so like something's got to happen to like regain. I don't think I was watching it daily at this point. I was like, I'm kind of bored. I might as well throw it on.
And then also important, Leah goes to the, where do the girls get ready? Like the makeup room, their closet. And she's like talking about how Rob is crying. And but like, she's just like, I don't understand what just happened. And she's obviously still very angry. And she's like, and then you're crying like a bitch on the floor, which comes back later. But I was, again, cracking up. I was cracking up.
She is so blunt. I wish I could have the like quips that she has.
Same. It was so good.
I can be a part of bits, but it's kind of hard for me to come up with them. So like I was falling in love with her as a person, but nobody else was catching me on this show at this point.
I know. Leah was big. I was a big fan of honestly Leah, Serena, and Janae. Before I even knew they were like good friends, they were all just good characters.
They were. I was about to, and they're very different. Like they don't. Because I think sometimes, like, I was watching Love Island UK at this point, and everybody just seemed like the same person. Yeah. Remember when we watched Bush Family Brood, and we were like, the two daughters, and they're like the exact same person?
They're twins, yeah.
If I can't individualize you in this cast, then I don't know you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's true. They were all very strong people.
Hilarious. So, then we have the kissing booth challenge. Which, can I just say, I hate watching people make out most of the time. Some of these Islanders were disgusting to watch kiss.
It doesn't hit like it needs to from a visually like watching, but I appreciate that they all have to do it. Yeah. So it could shake things up. So I accept it, but I do not enjoy it.
Yeah. So basically, all the girls are blindfolded. They got to rate the boys' kisses. Without knowing who's who. I will say, I've never been more sexually attracted to Rob than when he smacked the shit out of Janae's ass. I went, ooh.
Didn't he grab it too?
Yeah, listen, there's a theory that Rob's real crush was Janae, and I'm here for it.
Janae said that they weren't even really friends. That they had one
she
time.
left, and she was like, what friendship with Rob? But I was like, nah, I think Rob's obsessed with you.
That's the fanfic that is going to be going around.
That's me. So, Aaron ends up not kissing the girls because bombshell Miguel shows up. And let me tell you, out of all the boys, he was my favorite to watch kiss. He was like a beautiful kisser.
I'm like, who is this? They knew that wasn't somebody that they knew because I bet it was like the height and just who he was.
Well, they would kiss and then they'd all be like, that wasn't Aaron. Because they had figured out, they would figure out who was kissing them.
You could like kind of guess that, like, Miguel is so different from Aaron.
Yeah, so that was wild. So Miguel comes in, he storms, he's hot, the boys are worried. And we almost immediately do like a recoupling. So we do have some twists and turns. So Leah, since she and Rob are over, she's been getting to know Connor in this time.
He's been a great support to her.
Yeah. Janae, though, feels dissed because Connor then is like, I'm going to go get to know Leah. So Janae is like, what the fuck, dude?
But there was no conversations from Connor. It's the respect thing. Like, she wasn't mad at Leah. She wasn't mad that it was happening. It was just how it, like, he went about it.
I think she really did like Connor, too. So for him to be like,
Me
I'm
too.
going to get to know Leah because I think I like that better. She was like, okay,
I
bitch.
think the girls did a really good job at this in this season of not being mad at each other.
Yes.
Because knowing that, like, hey, this is part of the show. I can't be mad at somebody else wanting to get to know so-and-so. But I do respect expect conversations from the person who is my partner.
And I think Leah did have a conversation with Janae to be like, I'm just going to get to know him. And she made it very clear with Connor, like, we're not going to discuss Janae, which I don't think was shown, but they said they talked about that. So Connor ends up picking Leah. Cordell picks Serena, still as a friendship couple, but they're like really good friends. They're like slowly becoming they're flirting with not being friends. You know? Ugh. Aaron picks Kaylor, obviously, because he keeps calling her his future wife. Hakeem ends up picking Janae. They've just had a few conversations. You can't convince me this was anything important, but
no.
Shout out. Miguel picks Liv, which I was like, that's a beautiful couple. I don't know about you, but they look gorgeous. But he doesn't really know her. He's just like, I guess.
Yeah.
Rob picks Andrea, and then Kendall picks Nicole. So Hannah is dumped from the island. Great. Then we play this Burning Love Challenge, which is one of my favorites because I love to start shit. And it's the one where they get a cup of water, and it's like, who do you think is the most fake couple? And then they dump the water on people, and it causes a lot of drama, specifically with Connor and Janae, which I didn't like the way, Connor was like squaring up to Janae, and I didn't like B, how Hakeem was also like yelling at girls, but Janae checked him and it was like, don't talk to women that way. And I was like,
love
shout
that.
out. But nothing too crazy there. But then, I love when America votes. I love when the UK votes. I love when the people have a say. America has been voting to save some couples because we want to see what we want to see.
Yeah.
So we save Leah and Connor, Serena and Cordell, Kayla and Aaron, and then I think Miguel and Liv were exempt from being dumped because he was
probably
new. So then comes the ultimate dumping because the three couples up for elimination are Janae and Hakeem, Andrea and Rob, and Nicole and Kendall. But
before we get into that, I have a question. Do you like, because we've never partaked in Love Island UK voting, because we watch them late and we're
not in the UK.
I don't think I was voting at this time. But sometimes when they have these votes, it just feels like the voting is pointless when we get to like save people, but our ranking isn't deciding who is eliminated.
Yeah, like how the bottom three couples now the Islanders get to pick.
Yeah.
I would prefer when it's mixed like this because I want the Islanders to have to feel the drama of it.
Like the fallout.
But I like them knowing who we like best so then they can also scramble a little. Like I want
that's a good point.
want those people to be like, fuck, does America hate me? Do they hate the couple?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Leah is safe not because we like her and Connor. It's just because we like her.
Oh, which is also a question constantly. Like, oh my God, do they like my couple or do they just like me?
Serena and Cordell, we like that couple. So we were voting for them. Kayla and Aaron at this time, we love that couple. So we're voting for them.
In UK at this time, like this past summer, they only did votes like this. In US, it was constantly up and down on like what you were voting on, which I do like a diverse voting style because like there is power in knowing like we really do not like you.
Yeah, I like that too. I wish sometimes they would do like just America's vote, which I think they do later. This was also a shortened season, but I do like when it's mixed because now the Islanders have to choose two of the almost eliminated vulnerable Islanders to keep, and they don't have to be in the same couple. And the girls get to pick the girl, and the boys get to pick the boy,
which is I feel like rare.
Badass.
Because usually I think the guys vote out a girl, and the girls vote out a guy.
Yep. So
they knew what they were doing.
It's a long debate, as we saw at the reunion. I don't care. I will just say that the boys go first, and they end up saving Rob. So that means Hakeem and what did I get wrong?
One person was voted out.
Oh, one person was voted out. You're right.
Yeah.
So they save Rob and Kendall. So Hakeem's gone. Bye. The girls step up, and they do not save Andrea. She's dumped from the island, which causes World War III, I'll say, to make it blunt. Rob immediately rolls his eyes and he's like, no, how could you do this? Oh, no. And Aaron gets up and he goes, no.
They immediately start yelling at the girls who voted, which I was like, all right, I understand you're upset, but like,
what was you thinking?
They didn't just evict her out of nowhere. We had to vote somebody off.
She shouldn't be going home. And Liv, she stands right on up to look Aaron in the eye and goes, who do you want us to vote out? Name. Give me a name.
Because I've also heard Janae has said that Aaron was like, Janae. Not in maybe this moment, but he was like, how could you keep Janae here?
Yeah, the girls said, they were like, look, we think all of them deserve to find love, but these girls are friends with Janae. You gotta know that's who they're gonna save. And then Kendall and Andrea, it's a toss-up.
It's not Friend Island. Well, guess what? Friends will keep you on this damn island.
Guess who's voting? Me, not you. You saved your two friends.
Alicia, when this happened,
It was amazing.
Everybody was like, I will be watching this the minute it airs. Everybody was, from this moment on,
is amazing.
seated on their little couches at 7:30 Central Time, 7:30, ready and waiting, and because the islands would drop kind of early sometimes, so you were, there 30 minutes early, waiting to see if the episode dropped early.
Andrea's makeup is down her face, sobbing. Rob's
honestly, the makeup being it reminded me of the Lauren Conrad moment.
The mascara tear.
I don't think it would be as impactful had we not gotten. I mean, it would be impactful, obviously, but the visual of that mascara,
it was
down
amazing.
The face.
But then also Rob gets up. He's like, I'm going home. And Aaron's like, no, please don't go home.
His arms around Aaron's Andrea. Like, no. Now you're sending 3 home.
He goes, good job. You got rid of 3 tonight. Good job. You got rid of 3. And the girls are like, whatever, suck a dick. Aaron's sobbing. He's begging Rob not to go home. Rob's like, I'm going with Andrea.
Aaron's sobbing. I was like, this is such an ick.
So then Andrea goes to pack her shit. She's hysterical, obviously. She's like, I don't understand why they wouldn't keep me. I'm actually in like a love couple, not just Janae.
Which I understood it from her. I understand her emotions.
Yeah, I get why you're upset. But that's why you have to make friends. It's a strategic game as much as it's a love game. Like,
correct.
You got to figure it out.
Did you think Rob was going to leave?
No, they never leave.
I did question because it's hard to stand up there and make such a big statement.
Well, okay, so.
If he was going to leave, he was going to leave that night. I thought he would be wrapped up in the emotion of it all and leave.
So Rob's like, I'm going to leave. Aaron is begging Rob, please don't leave. Please don't leave. And Rob's like, let me think about it. Andrea's packing her shit. Janae's crying because she knows that all the boys wanted her to go home.
Mean.
So then Andrea and Rob have a conversation. And Rob's like, I'm so sad you're going home. I like you a lot. And I went, it's been 2 days.
Oh my God.
But go off. And then he looks at her and goes, I don't think I'm going to go. And I went, you don't love her. You don't love her.
The way when he dropped the almost L bomb, I was like, oh, and then you're going to like back that up with I'm not leaving with you. Oh my God. If I were Andrea, I would want to get as far away from Rob as possible.
Well, listen. Being dumped from the island and going away from your couple that you really liked is bad enough. Before that guy, 30 minutes earlier, declare his love for you and he's going to go home. You're sending 3 home tonight and then be like, never mind. You don't like me.
No.
You were blinded by me when I came in. And now that you can't have this experience, I knew they never leave.
Very rarely do they leave.
They never leave. So I went, see you never. So she leaves. Leah, again, makes fun of Rob in the dressing room. She does the,
iconic.
You're sending 3 home. And then you're still here, bitch.
Still here, bitch, in your overalls.
It was amazing. Rob is very upset with the girls. Very upset that they would send Andrea home.
Which I understood that.
I get it.
I mean,
mad.
He is the one who gets to like pop off because his person went home. It was already dramatic. Like,
yeah, be mad, whatever. But then Leah talks to him and says, like, look, I don't want you to hate me because you think like I sent her home. I tried to take a back seat in your guys' relationship. Rob hears that and he's like, Leah took a backseat to the vote. And he goes to Liv and Kayla. And he's like, I don't believe that for a second. She said she was taking a back seat. And both Liv and Kayla are like,
they look at each other like,
way. She was the main person voting Andrea out.
Which I was like, oh, what?
All the girls we saw had a vote. So Leah could vote
literally
for
on
Andrea.
their hands. In the part we got in the main episode,
1 or 2.
They all 1 or 2 they voted and they sent Andrea home.
Here's my other thing. If Leah's that good at convincing you to do her dirty work, you should get a better mind.
It sounds like you guys didn't stand up for anything.
And if you
look,
that's
not Leah's fault.
Liv is the only one that votes different. Kayla and Serena also voted Andrea out.
We never saw Leah's, but we have to assume she's voting Andrea. We never saw her like numbers.
Yeah, you can assume because then Kayla and Serena both put up a 2 and you go, oh, okay. So then it starts a really big argument. Rob is like, Leah, I knew you had something to do with it. I knew you were the mastermind. And Leah's like, oh my God.
What?
I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Liv comes over and she's like, you absolutely did. So she's
Leah
yelling.
calls her over thinking like, oh my God, there's like some big miscommunication because like, I did not do this. I'm sorry you have this idea in your head.
And Liv's like, no, it was all you. You're a liar.
I would be blindsided. I would immediately start sobbing. Like,
well, Leah was like, what the fuck? And then Serena and Janae are watching and Janae goes, we gotta go. And Serena walks right up and goes, what we're not going to do is gang up on Leah. And Liv's like, we're not ganging up. And Serena's like, it looks like it because both Rob and Liv are going in on Leah, and Leah can't
They're
get
on
a word
opposite
in.
sides of her too. Like,
yeah, it looks wild.
I know Leah called Liv over, so it wasn't like an intentional gang up. But when both of you are yelling at her at the same time, oof,
it was crazy. And then, so that starts drama of like, what does backseat mean? I don't care. Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I'm Leah, yeah, I'm campaigning for Andrea to go home. Hell yeah, I'm campaigning for that. Also,
but I also would say that like I'm trying to take a back seat to even this vote. Like I'm not trying to be the one who is screaming, send her home.
Yeah.
Like
I think Leah was just showing, because we did see comments of Andrea saying shit. Like when the like who was it? Rob was originally like coupled up with Andrea. A bombshell came in and Leah was like, oh, I'm single. And Andrea goes, you're welcome.
Yeah. There was like, a constantly snippy remarks.
Yeah, I don't think Andrea was girl's girl. So, you know what? Sayonara, baby.
You never would have had Leah's vote to keep Andrea. No. But Leah did not hold everybody else's vote hostage and convince them to send Andrea home.
And listen,
Leah was always against Andrea. And
Serena's
that's going to
vote with her friend. Why not yell at Kaylor?
And they immediately said Janae is off the table. So it's just honestly between Andrea and Nicole.
Okay, so this causes drama. Eventually the girls make up. Rob still hates Leah. He's like, we'll never be anything again. To which I was like, this makes me hate Rob. Because
I was like,
what
that's
the
so
fuck,
presumptuous that you think that she wants you back just because she, quote unquote, got your girl out.
Yeah, fuck off. So then we do this challenge, a sticker twist challenge. Basically, you can either like...
Loved this.
So basically... you dance and then you get an option to decide if you want to stay in your couple or be open to other people. And then if you want to be open, you leave the dance floor. And if you want to stay, you dance.
You know, the guys and girls were obviously on opposite sides.
Yeah.
I don't think the viewers, like the girls sitting in the stands, could see what the boys dancing could even do.
I don't think so either, because there was like that wall,
that partition,
and I think it blocked whatever it was happening. So basically, I've heard after the show there was some difference in what they were told.
Really?
So Serena and Cordell were on Keke Palmer's podcast, and Keke was like, Serena, how could you leave my man Cordell out there dancing his little butt off? And Serena said she felt really bad about it because how it was presented to her was like, if you're like closed off to meeting people, stay on the dance floor, but if you're open to talking to other people, like you can leave.
That makes so much sense because that's basically what Serena's whole thing is after the challenge.
Yeah. Well, before the challenge, they had a whole conversation on like, we're going to stay open.
Yeah.
But Cordell was told, like, if you're happy in your couple, stay on the dance floor. And if you want to ditch your couple,
it's not just the audience to the Islanders got different notes. It is these two groups, the guys potentially and the girls.
Yeah, and what they also didn't show was Serena, I guess, had a full ass meltdown, and she was like, I don't want him to think I dissed him. Like and Kendall had to like really calm her down.
Oh my God.
So +1 to the producers for drama, but damn, no wonder their mental health is like under attack.
Because I understand you wanting like a good reaction. I understand if they give different instructions to the viewers, to us, than they do for them to like heighten the drama. But it would be hard for me to trust a producer as Serena and Cordell on what was going down, especially because a lot of shows you're not allowed to talk about production. So like, I wonder like how long until they cleared that up even.
Yeah. So everyone has someone who leaves in their couple except Kayla and Aaron. So basically, whatever, a bunch of couples are like strained at this point. And then we have 3 new bombshells enter the villa right after the challenge. Cassidy, Kenny, and Nigel. And let me tell you, the minute I saw Kenny, I went, that man, that's mine. That's who I want. That's if I was in the villa, that's me. That's my guy.
I love the way he dresses.
I love that it's like a substitute teacher. I love the way he dresses. His little curly hair on the top of his head. His body. Oh my God, this man.
Again, we got like a different personality and a different person like than what we've seen. And like
he was great.
No offense to like Nigel and Cassidy. Like they didn't stand out to me as Islanders to me. Yeah.
So they each get a date the next day. Cassidy picks Miguel. Kenny picks Janae, and Nigel picks Serena. Miguel and Cassidy end up kissing on the date, which is fine because Miguel had just twisted on Liv to say like, I'm not in this couple anymore. Serena does not kiss Nigel, even though he asks, because she's respectful to Cordell. And then Janae also doesn't kiss Kenny just because I think she's taking kissing like very seriously.
Yeah.
So then we have the challenge flex appeal, which doesn't matter except like this is where Janae and Kenny first kissed, and I was like, ooh, I'm eating it up. And Rob weirdly kisses Liv on the cheek before he kisses Cassidy on the lips,
which was very
weird,
interesting.
Which was weird. Then we have a recoupling. So Leah picks Miguel. Oh, because after flex appeal, then Leah and Miguel sit and have a little conversation, and Miguel's like, I was super into you, you caught my eye, and then they have a cute little snog, if you will. And it's very cute, and everyone's like, ooh, because this kind of seemed like it came out of nowhere. But Janae and Serena have since confirmed that when they were on that boat date, on the original date, Miguel kept asking about Leah to the PPG.
And they were supposed to be like separated, not talking to the new Islanders, but somehow they got a minute to like chat off camera.
Yeah, and Miguel was like, I'm super into Leah. And they were like, fuck yeah.
Which makes sense because like it kind of caught me off guard, Miguel and Leah.
Yeah.
They never tell their story.
No. And Miguel didn't kiss Leah in the challenge. So we didn't know. But Leah does end up recoupling with Miguel. Serena and Cordell stay together. Kayla and Aaron stay together. Janae picks Kenny. Liv picks Nigel. Nicole picks Kendall. And then Cassie picks Rob. So Connor, dumped.
Bye.
Thank God.
Is for the best because Leah got
slowly
moving away from that man.
His tight jeans. They're just really tight.
Oh, man.
So then we have an America's Vote, which I love.
We were back to shake it up.
So we, as America, we ended up saving Leah, Miguel, Serena, Cordell, Kayla and Aaron, Janae and Kenny, and Nicole and Kendall, which means that Liv, Nigel, Rob, and Cassidy are up for elimination. But you want to know how they do it this time? They line those 4 up and make every Islander.
This was cruel.
This
actually is probably the cruelest thing that they've ever done.
Yeah, they make every Islander stand behind the person they want to save. And I was praying. Leah was the last one to go, and I was just going, just
stand behind Cassidy.
Because Cassidy didn't have anyone behind her. I was like, hug Liv and say, like, I'm so sorry, but I have to give her someone.
Yes.
Liv's not going to get mad at you.
And if she does, that's bullshit.
Well, even Liv said, like, I hope Leah stands behind Cassidy. And I was like, oh my God,
so awkward.
But Rob and Liv end up staying, so Cassidy and Nigel dumped from the island. Then, the best. It's time for Casa Amor, which they give the boys a choice. And they go... Which was a false choice.
They didn't have a choice.
But they go like, boys, you can choose to go to Casa Amor or stay behind. And I'm going to tell you right now, the producers were not letting any boys stay behind. They just wanted it so then Ariana could come in and tell the girls, all your men chose.
And they wanted the like slow, like, I'm choosing on my own, and that boy would run out. And then the next one would be like, I'm going too. And I was like, all right, we can cut the acting down a bit.
It was great. So I'm going to kind of go through, we're not going to do too much on Casa Amor. the new girls come in, the new boys come in. Can I just say, Love Island did the girls so dirty. These boys were not bombshell material, in my opinion.
Which I feel bad for them too, because like the internet was so mean about it. But like,
sorry, kids are playing. I'll close my window.
God.
But yeah,
they were not bombing like, you know, like Andrea and Nicole were.
They
weeks
weren't
ago.
They weren't it.
Oh my God, I was like, is somebody dying?
Episode's a mess. So, right back into where we left off. Basically, I believe they always make the boys usually go to casa more because they're more likely to do bad things when they're not associating the house with the girls.
And
they're already more likely to fuck
because
up.
They've tested it out on UK, you know, who
they
goes.
had the girls go in season 5.
It doesn't hit as hard because they always call it on UK like lads holiday.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, lads holiday. Boys on the town or whatever. Mm-hmm. So almost immediately, what's his face? Aaron starts getting to know this girl named Daniela.
Which at first I was like, okay, they're just clicking, you know, like they have things to talk about. Like it is awkward to meet 5 new people.
Yeah, they were talking about like the death of her mom. They both spoke Spanish.
Yeah, and like Aaron hasn't gotten to talk about that type of stuff. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be used against him for sure.
Yeah,
but I was like, all right, we're fine.
But then he does sleep in a bed with Daniela.
When they were at the house and given the like ability to choose to leave, quote unquote, they were setting hard boundaries. We're all sleeping outside.
We're not going to.
We're all going to keep it all good on this side of the fence.
So they sleep together. They also kiss, which that wasn't great. And they snuggled a lot in that bed. They were. Mm-hmm. I knew that there was something happening under those covers. The way those covers were moving. Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like we saw him with Kaylor. Like it was way more intense with Daniela, in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, Cordell starts getting to know Dea, who immediately came in and had her eye on Cordell, which this we didn't see, but just before Casa Amor, Cordell and Serena exchanged rings to kind of make their thing more official, if you will.
Which is so frustrating we didn't get like a moment like that.
A lot of people I feel like were like, Serena can't be mad. Which I was kind of like, yeah, she friend zoned him, but then they were like, no, we had talked about this.
It like I knew that they cared about each other, and so I think my heartbreak with Cordell and Serena was just like what could have been between them, not really like Cordell's doing something wrong.
Agreed. So those were like the 2 main things, but at the girls' villa, Serena is like crying over how much she misses Cordell.
I think she needed that to be like, if I lose him, this will actually hurt me.
Yeah. Kaylor, of course, is crying about how much she misses Aaron, but we saw that coming.
Not in a like, oh my God, I realize how much this means to me, and just a fuck Aaron, I miss him.
Yeah. So, they end up, the only challenge that matters is like this food challenge that the girls win, and they end up winning a video. Which the videos they get show Cordell and Aaron getting all cozy with their new girls. Which drives them nuts. They're pissed. Yep. And then we immediately have like a casa recoupling after that. Casa recoupling's my favorite because basically...
Kaylor, I don't know if you know that this happened, that Kaylor screams, you know, into the abyss, like, fuck Aaron. She heard that. Or he heard that.
Yeah.
From the other villa. And so like they and the girls in casa were like, oh my God, I bet that they got a video.
Yeah, I think they know, which caused Aaron to stop getting to know Daniela. That's when he stopped. So then we do our casa recoupling, which is the best because it's basically like you choose, the girls get to choose if they want to be single or recouple, and then the boy will walk in either by themselves.
I know.
If they are by themselves,
the dramatic reveal is everything.
It's so amazing. So, Liv goes first. She picks this guy, Kane, that fucking sucks, so who cares? Nicole goes next. She chooses to stay single. Kendall's, she chooses to stay with Kendall.
To remain with her couple.
Yeah. Kendall walks in alone, so they are a couple. Great.
Which that was exciting. Yeah. We didn't see Kendall doing anything bad related to his couple, so it's just like... He was hyping those boys up in casa. That guy. He's always
He's a pick-me boy.
That is
he
such
wants
a
the
good...
boys. He's like anything to
even
get
the
in
girls,
with the boys.
even the girls as on a friendship level.
He's a pick me.
He wants to be that guy.
He drives me up like insane. Anyway, then I don't exactly remember the order. It doesn't matter. I think Janae goes next. She's like, I'm gonna stay loyal to Kenny. Kenny then walks in. Let me tell you what happened this episode for me. I was going, Kenny's gonna walk in alone. He's gonna walk in alone. Then I saw Kendall's face, and Kendall looked so concerned. And I went, Kenny is gonna bring a girl. Fuck. Because Kendall can't hide anything on his face. And Kenny walks in.
But I was shocked with who he picks because we didn't really get to see them like connecting anything. That? But it's like Janae and Kenny had 2 days together, so it's not like groundbreaking.
I get it. But then he walks up with Kat. First of all, she's like, hold my mic. I'm so serious, Ari. Get my suitcase. And I was like,
I was like, Janae, don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave.
But then she asked Kenny point blank. She goes, who has a stronger connection? Me or her? And he says, you. And she's like, well, you brought her back. So
then why'd you bring her?
And I went, anything Kenny's going to say now, she just shut it down with that one thing, with that one argument. She shut it down.
No matter what he says, she's going to use it against him.
Yep. So
like he
screwed.
Cannot win one conversation from here on out.
Yep. You're screwed. Then Miguel walks in. He walks in with Sierra. Leah's not totally surprised. She decided to stay loyal to Miguel. She got dissed. She took it like a champ, honestly.
Listen, after the Rob situation, nothing can rock Leah.
She was obviously pissed, but she's like, look, I know who he is, and he's going to bring a girl back, which Miguel has said that hurt him to hear that. He was like, fuck. Then Aaron walks in. So Kaylor says, she does the whole thing. She's like, so I got a video, which all the boys are like,
they're like,
Kaylor's like, I got a video and I'm choosing to stay single, which I love because that's like not even one of these boys. Like, that's the thing. I want you to know I'd rather be alone than be with you.
Than to just like pick someone for a minute.
Yeah, no, fuck you. So, although I was hoping she would pick that guy George, because George I really did like.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's single. Aaron walks in and he's decided to stay loyal to Kaylor. He's so excited.
He thinks he like
won the lottery.
Casa. Yeah.
And Kaylor looks at him and goes, I decided to stay single because I got a video. What do you think I got a video of? And Aaron's like, we should talk about this later. To which Ariana says, I got all the time in the world.
Incredible.
Which Aaron owns up to nothing.
Yeah.
And Kaylor just says, I got a video. And then she looks at Kendall and she goes, I'm also hurt by you because this is not a joke. These are real feelings with a real person. And you're making a joke of it.
I still to this day don't think Kendall takes ownership over what his role, like what he has done.
Oh, if I was Nicole, even in this moment, I would have gotten such an ick from Kendall with how he behaved.
Because there's one thing, because like other guys have done this in the past in other seasons where like they tend to be the hype person.
Yeah.
Out of shock sometimes, like when Daniela and Aaron kissed on those beanbags, like being like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I understand that. I understand being shocked and like giving reactions, but you egged it on and put the OG women down.
Yep.
In the process.
Yeah. And that's just it's not nice. It's not nice to do or watch. Yeah, I fucking hate Kendall. Anyway, so not sorry. Then, so Aaron is now single too. And then they make Kaylor go sit with the girls, the single girlies, because they're like, don't sit next to Aaron.
Ariana on that After Sun was like, she took hosting as like, if she were watching, what would she want? Because she knew that they could always cut things out. And I love that about how she hosted this season of Love Island, is she always made comments, it seems like, and they edited a decent amount in there. Like, I don't want somebody just to like say the words of like, and Aaron's walking in. No, if I was standing in that position, what would I want you to say?
Yeah.
And then like swapping them. Yeah. Love.
It helps that she's on reality TV too. So she like knows.
And is a huge fan.
And is a fan. Okay. Then Rob walks in with Daniela, which the girls don't care that Rob picks someone, but immediately Janae goes, is that Daniela?
Well,
from
first
the
Kayla was like, oh my God, yay, Rob. And then, Janae's like, is that the girl? And she's like,
from Aaron's video? And she even looks at Aaron and goes, is that Daniela? And all the girls were like, oh, you guys did your big ones, huh?
What delusion goes through your head and thinks this is a good idea?
What did you think was gonna be hid? Rob can't hide from the cameras crying. What do you think is gonna be hid? Nothing. There's cameras everywhere.
And then
I can't. And then my favorite. Cordell walks in with Dea, and Cordell walks up with his head down. He's not looking.
I was like, you're gonna do that? You better like put your eyes forward and like look her in the eye with the action you just did. Like how you are literally skimpering it. Shows everything.
Serena chose to stay single. She said it. And she looked right at him and was like, you're a bitch, basically. And she went off. I've heard it was 45 minutes, and that's what I want released.
Hilarious, they said.
And hilarious.
I heard they had to cut so much of it because like people were laughing.
Well, she said, my ex is a bitch, you're a bitch, y'all are twin sisters. And Rob lost it at that point. Cordell said he was trying not to laugh. But basically what we saw was she was pissed. He says, like, oh, I'm sorry I did this. And Serena goes, you didn't look sorry when you were humping in the bed. And she's like, oh, yeah. And does the movement, which is so funny. And then he's like, yeah, I feel shitty. And Leah's like, say it with your chest, bitch. If you've done it, let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Loud and proud. You chose to do this. And you knew this was going to cause problems. So, like, own your goddamn decisions and words, babe.
Listen, I can't even do Serena justice. It was amazing. Just go watch it. Yeah. But when she sticks up her middle finger and then licks it.
Right on the ass.
Oh my God. I fell in love. So the best. Anyway, though, almost immediately, the boys all realized they've made a mistake. First of all, Cordell. And
like across the board, like I feel like because Love Island isn't Friendship Island, but it is, like you have now pissed off the other ladies in this house. Like this whole place is in shambles. Like you have to not only justify your behavior to your own partner, but to all your like girl space friends.
Well, almost immediately, as soon as Ariana leaves, those girls are up and they're like, fuck this. And they leave. And the boys are like, what do we do? And the Casa girls are like, they're so mean. And I was like, bitch, you're lucky it wasn't me.
What
I would have killed
those
someone.
Girls think
was going to happen. I know.
I get it if in a day and a half, like they can't even look you in the eye. You did nothing wrong. Like you shouldn't feel shame, Casa girls. They're
not welcoming you tonight.
No, but their reaction to those men is justified. And you are standing next to them. And so, yes, of course you're going to get some heat. But tonight is not the moment for you to be best friends with the girl you just took her man. Come on, be so fucking for real.
I loved Cordell going, did anyone else get it as bad as me? And Rob was like, yeah, everyone. And they were like, but not like you.
That is something that is actually so interesting, that the order that the guys do come in, like some get the full show, some only get one.
I would want to be number one. I'd want to watch everything happen.
That is a reason to stay in your couple, to be honest, because they always put the worst one last. And I think they knew that Serena would pop off like no other.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. Cordell's like, I can't talk to her tonight. And everyone's like, please don't. The only ones that talk this night really are Janae and Kenny.
Where she's like, I'm not fighting for no man.
Well, Janae says if it's between me or her, I'm going to make the decision, choose her. And Kenny is so distraught. He's like, this was a mistake. And he's trying to say it. And she's like, no, I'm done.
Because these guys, I get the new version of Casa, I feel like, because UK, you used to immediately be dumped in the early seasons. If you didn't pair up with your old partner, there was no single, no like anything.
You get to stay. No, you're gone.
Exactly.
So like Janae, this new version, and Serena would have been gone.
But this new version is like, oh, I can have my cake and eat it too. I can like sort it out. I can sort out my feelings that I like found someone in Casa and like see how it compares to you, which is messy. It's great for the show. But like, I love Janae being like, I'm not participating in your little science experiment.
And Kenny is stumbling over his words. And still she stands up and she goes, give me a hug. And they hug. And then he walks the separate direction. And he runs into Leah and Serena. And he immediately starts sobbing. Which made me start crying. Because then he's like, I hurt her and I just like did. Well, he says in his truth booth, basically, he's like, I don't want to be the person that hurts her. I don't want to be that person. But to Leah and Serena, he cannot get a word out. He is just,
Oh my God.
So sad.
Oh.
So eventually they all kind of get on well, no, because then the next night, Serena's mad, dude. And Dea asks if Serena wants to talk finally. And Dea tells her, you know, obviously Cordell likes Dea, but also tells her that the boys said that Cordell was way happier with Dea than he was Serena.
Dea said that with a fucking smile on her face, too.
And she wasn't wrong, though.
No, but, like, there's a way to do it without having to, like, stab
the
Dea
knife
wasn't
and
a twisted
girl.
So
no.
She was
Serena,
loving that moment.
Ariana called this the night Serena got all her steps in, because she popped off. She walks right to that dock where Cordell and Miguel were having a heart-to-heart trying to figure out what to do about their girls. And she's like, fuck you, Miguel, and fuck you, Cordell. And Miguel's like,
what did I do?
And she's yelling at the table. She's like, fuck you, Kendall, don't talk to me. And she walks right onto that dock. And she's like, get the fuck away from me, but also fucking listen to me. And she's going off and whatever. And so, like, eventually Cordell and Serena are alone. And what I really loved about Cordell was he let Serena get all her anger, all her emotion out. He said, just talk to me.
That's the
give
thing.
me your emotion.
He sat there for the whole conversation. He didn't run away from it. He didn't try to end it. He didn't try to convince her of anything.
Didn't interrupt her at all. He just said,
he spoke back to her, but he didn't, like, try to change anything about what she was saying. He was just responding. And I appreciate him responding, because him also sitting there mute would have looked like, oh, well, just take it. You know, like, he did so well.
Yeah. He apologized. He took ownership. I just love that he didn't try to stop her from yelling at him. When she was yelling, he begged for more. He was like, no, keep talking to me.
That's the thing. He was fighting to continue a conversation with her, not to, like, hold her hostage.
No.
To have a conversation. He was fighting
walk
for
away,
the work.
When she would walk away, he'd be like, please, no.
And you know beautiful. What? Like, that's what any girl wants, to be honest.
He was fighting for her. And he said, like, it's not over between us. He was like, I'm going to show you. And I was screaming because I was like, you know what? Even though he did fuck up, he's really handling this the best way. Because let's go. Oh, do you have something else to say?
It's the response to fucking up. Because listen, Casa is meant to, like, F things up. But that's what we love. We love a breakup to make up.
Yeah. Let's now go to how Kaylor and Aaron were handling the situation. Kaylor acted very similarly to Serena, I would say, in the sense of she's very upset and she's crying and getting her emotions out. She's not yelling as much, but they just get their emotions out differently, and that's fine. Aaron, though, is interrupting Kaylor, saying, like, it's not a big deal. It was a joke.
Yes.
And he sometimes, when she was yelling, would go, let's just take a minute. Like, stopping her from talking and being like, we'll just
That's
breathe.
The thing. She wasn't allowed to speak. No. He was pushing the narrative on what her feelings needed to be.
Yeah. So, hated that immediately. And then Serena's calmed down a little this night. Kendall goes over to her, which we have to discuss this scene because it's not discussed enough.
Yeah.
And he kind of corners her in the kitchen and is like, I heard you say, fuck you, Kendall. Why'd you say that? That was really mean of you. I didn't appreciate that. And he's this big dude with his arms crossed right in front of her. And she looks like concerned a little.
Well, it's like, why are you coming at me for reacting to your own behavior?
Yeah, and why are you cornering me in this kitchen? And
somebody had to point this scene out to me, and I'm really disappointed. Like, I didn't clock this myself. Yeah. I have watched it so much, and it is upsetting.
He, like, squares up to her, which I didn't like. But I did like that Cordell always had eyes on them. If you look, he's always right next to them.
He was rooting in, it was either the pantry or the fridge.
Yeah, he was right there. He
never grabs anything, but the entire time Kendall has her cornered, he is there.
He's ready, which I just didn't like. I didn't like that Kendall handled this differently. I didn't like how Kendall said that Serena handled this whole situation wrong, but Kaylor handled it right. Just because Serena's talked about this. She said just because she's loud and she's going to yell, apparently the way she handles this is wrong, and the way Kaylor doesn't, or Kaylor handles it is different because she just cries. But let's talk about the microaggression in that. That's crazy. Because you're again calling a woman of color aggressive and like mean and like being rude.
Which like if she was like throwing shit and like screaming at everybody, I get that. But that is not what she was doing.
That's not what happened.
And that is what you are projecting onto her.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because nobody had a problem when like Rob had a meltdown and like jumped in a pool. Like anytime any of these men have ever shown emotion, it's cool. But the minute the women do, we like to shut them down and tell them we need a minute and that they're being too much. And it's so annoying.
So then everyone, I don't want to say is on like good terms, but we're better. All the couples
learn how to live with each other in the house.
Then we do the tweets challenge, which I love. I love when they find out what the outside world is thinking about them. Nothing important happens. Leah just gets a really brutal tweet about how she's not a girl's girl and she's a terrible person and weaponizes male
and Aaron
vulnerability.
got told that like he was liked. It was like they picked the weirdest fucking tweets.
But then it also, there was one that's like, I feel bad for Kaylor because they didn't even show the worst of it. And she was like, how does it get worse?
But then like she continues to get lied to by Daniela and by Aaron and all the boys. Like nobody will ever tell her the truth, and Kaylor will not go seek it out for herself. Like Serena had a tough conversation. Like that's not Kaylor, and that's okay.
That's okay.
But it doesn't help when everybody else is willing to lie to your face.
Well, then we have movie night where we get to watch.
I was like, I sat down with popcorn when I watched this episode. I was ready, thinking like, let's pop off, people.
Let's just talk about, this is where we find out first that Rob was crying initially because he was sad he was hurting Leah. Leah apologizes for what she said. They really air it out. It's really beautiful, their friendship in the end. But most of the movie night is Kaylor and Aaron. And again, Aaron is like, this was my experience. I'm not going to apologize for my experience.
He defends it constantly.
All the girls, though, are right behind Kaylor, ready to fight. Aaron has a temper tantrum. He leaves. Rob brings him back. He can't take ownership.
He's allowed to have emotions. Nobody said he was being aggressive and insane.
Whereas Cordell, during all his movies, sat there, took it,
apologized,
said
again
like, I'm
and
sorry,
again.
That was me.
I messed up.
Aaron's basically like, that wasn't me.
Or
I didn't
like,
do that.
I deserve to do that. Yeah. Or you just need to get over it. We've already discussed
my experience. Yeah, he's the worst. Anyway, then we have a recoupling. It goes, all the boys pick. So Miguel and Leah, Cordell, Serena, Aaron, Kaylor, Kenny, Janae, Kendall, Nicole, Kane, who we forget about, picks Sierra, and then Rob stays with Daniela. So Dea, Kat, and then sadly Liv are dumped from the island. Liv was a hard one. R.I.P. to that one. So then enters the most beautiful man I've ever seen. His name's Harrison, and he has the most gorgeous eyes in the entire world. And if he's single, please just let me look at you. I don't even need to date you. But he comes in, he doesn't really start too much drama. He pulls Sierra.
It's too late in the game to really like link up.
Yeah, he pulls Sierra, Nicole, and Daniela for dates. Nicole was the only one that he like kind of started drama with Kendall.
They're vibing.
They were.
And I was not in love with Nicole and Kendall. I never
believed it. I always thought she would have rather picked Miguel. Because for a little bit, Miguel was interested in her, but she shut that down. I think she always would have rathered someone else, but she didn't want to look like the villain on TV, you know?
See, I think she knew Kendall was a sure thing into her, whereas Miguel it was always openly discussed, like, is he a player? So I think, like, she tried to go with the
safe option.
What she could trust. Yeah, but not in, like, a bad way.
No.
Like, I don't look down on her for that choice.
But I think she always kind of had this, like, what if? And that kind of showed with Harrison, where she was like, I'm flattered.
There was always doubt with Kendall.
Yeah. So, Sierra and Harrison end up coupling up, which means Kane is dumped. See you never, my guy. Then we have that Olympics thing, the challenge, which was fine. Then, one of my favorite, we do the heart rate challenge. I love the heart rate challenge.
I was kind of sad we did this so late in the season.
I know. But some honorable mentions. Leah was hilarious. She did not want to be there, but she made it funny.
Yeah.
So good. Janae, I had a heart attack.
Incredible.
That was amazing.
I've never seen somebody do it as well as Janae.
No, that was amazing. And then Cordell was just hilarious. So good. So funny.
I was concerned when he first stepped out in his little nerd outfit. But then he has to be one of the best Islanders to meet in person.
He's so funny. He's just so funny and hot, and like it was so perfect. But then the boys get a surprise with bombshell Cassie entering. She knows Rob because she's from a previous season that she like kind of vibed with Rob and Casa. We do another one of those like America's saves whatever. Anyway, Sierra Harrison, Rob, and Daniela end up in the bottom, but Cassie saves Rob, so they are now coupled
up. Which we all knew would happen.
Yeah. Then they do that newlywed challenge where they have to guess the same answer as each other.
Yeah.
Which didn't give us a ton, except that Kaylor's the biggest complainer, which I support.
Yes. People were pissed when that happened of like, oh my God, some people got such like harder questions. And I was like, this is where I need reality TV veterans. Obviously, they asked them 80 questions and picked 2.
Yeah, it's all cut. And then some people win. So Serena, Cordell, Nicole, and Kendall, and then Kaylor and Aaron win calls with their families, which was really nice. I didn't think Kaylor's family went in enough on Aaron. That sucked.
Those were also cut, but Kaylor's also said her mom would never do that on TV.
That's true.
It would never sway her. But I'm like, Mom, true. Let's learn that like this is raging maroon colored flags. This is the moment to do it. I understand maybe you don't want to do it on every relationship, but this is the one, honey.
We also saw Odell Beckham Jr. He loves the show.
He was promoting it on his Instagram story.
He's hilarious. He's the best.
Man.
So then we have the last America's vote once more to save 4 couples to go to the final. So we save Nicole and Kendall, Janae and Kenny, Sarita and Cordell. And then it's down to the final 3 couples. Everyone's like, Kaylor and Aaron are going to go to the final. Kaylor and Aaron are going to go to the final.
I'm not joking. The coordinated effort on the internet to ensure that the votes were spread out correctly was so funny to watch, because you won't get this because you haven't seen this season of Love Island UK, but in a recent one, the vote got split, and so somebody who, like a couple who wins, people didn't want to win, but like UK didn't coordinate their votes, and they basically gave like 50-50 of the majority to 2 different couples, and then like this other couple got a larger percentage because of it.
Oh no.
It was devastating. Like, it was just like, wait a minute, what just happened there?
No.
So people on the internet, when this is going down, were like, I need everybody to openly tell me who they're voting for. And like, I remember voting in this. I was like, I'm not going to vote for my 2 favorites, because clearly the internet is saying like, there's plenty. I was like, the Leah stands. Leah's going to be safe. Like, she's fine. Like, they will come out in full force. Like, people were coordinating the votes, like trying to pulse check.
Wait, that's amazing.
It was so fun, but like terrifying.
America did not want Kaylor and Aaron in this final.
No, we people thought like by accident one of like the top 4 that we wanted wouldn't make it, and Aaron and Kaylor would slip through because of their family support and random support.
Yeah, so in one of the most beautiful moments, Leah and Miguel make it to the final. So she is shocked. She runs and hugs her PPG girls. Kendall goes, wholesome. I'm gutted. And I was like, oh, fuck
I'm
off.
Sure you are.
But this is the perfect final 4. I'm a part of this. Then we get the finale, which they do their vows. They do Girls' Day. It's very like whatever. But
I'm annoyed they didn't do the recap clips. Like UK does theirs. It's not live, but there's an audience, and they like go through this montage, and like the Islanders get to see it, and it just feels like it like becomes so wholesome. But not to jump ahead, but then like we knew there was a reunion coming. I was like, oh, they're gonna get it there. Like they're gonna have this moment in a different way. Spoiler: we never got it.
Okay, so for those of you who are new to Love Island, there's always 2 ways the winner could go. It's either going to be our most beloved couple, or it's going to be the most beloved girl. Those are always the top 2, okay?
Correct. Well, I feel like the most beloved couple ends up being the longest standing. In like old fashioned. Now we're in a new era where we like don't fall for that anymore.
But yeah, it's usually the most beloved couple or the most beloved woman. Those are usually the top two. How it comes in 1 and 2 depends on the season. But
if you coordinate the votes, I'm learning. There's strategy now.
Yeah,
people
but
are like coordinating stuff way
if
more.
If you look at UK's seasons 1 through 6, that's how it goes. So I wasn't surprised. But 4th place ends up being Nicole and Kendall. Duh. Goodbye.
Thank
no one
God.
cares. PPG on top.
I mean, when they were like, "Ooh, honey," I was like, "We did it!"
PPG on top. So then, Janae and Kenny come in 3rd, which makes sense. But then we sit there and I go, most beloved woman was Leah, and most beloved couple is Serena.
Serena and Cordell.
Serena and Cordell. So Serena and Cordell end up winning it. Leah and Miguel are 2nd.
I'm happy.
This is what I would have wanted.
I wouldn't have been shocked if Leah won, but like I wanted the story.
The Cordell and Serena's story is just the most beautiful thing.
Like, I feel like when we vote for the woman on top, like, that we love, it just doesn't feel like a whole season. It just feels like we were left with this catastrophe and, like, we gotta let this woman shine. That's how I feel whenever I watch seasons where they don't pick the couple on top. But sometimes we don't have a couple on top to pick.
Yeah, like the one I think of the most is season 5 of UK, which is most like this season of USA, where the winner was Amber. She wasn't in her couple for long, but we loved Amber, and Molly May and Tommy came in 2nd. And I think it just depends on who we're feeling in that moment. And that it just goes. But it was lovely. They're going to split the money. I always forget there's a cash prize. So yeah, it was a long season, but I think it was worth it to go through everything, and we had fun doing this. So
because we didn't watch it together, we never talked about it a little bit. I remember when I got you to start watching.
Yeah.
And then we chatted a few times, but not much.
I mean, and the reunion will be fast because there wasn't much. But Meredith, would you like to start out on the reunion?
I was pumped for this reunion. It got announced the night of the finale. Like, everybody had been looking forward to it.
Yep.
I was shocked at how many exclusive podcasts and like podcasts that the show set up for the couples.
Yeah, before the reunion.
Yes. Like, it wasn't just like these people found their way onto podcasts. Peacock set up Call Her Daddy exclusives and
Chicks
set
in
up
the
Chicks in the Office and like all this stuff. So I was like, okay, like that's really interesting. And I watched everything. I took notes and everything. I knew you and I were going to talk about this.
Yep.
None of it matters anymore, really, because like as they're slowly coming out of it, like everything's changing. But I was like, okay, but we're going to get, again, the recap clips of the, you know, people, and we're gonna figure out where they are today. And like I like that they were being coy about where they stood with their couple. So I was like, okay, it'll be okay, even though we've overexposed these people.
It was fine. I mean, I'd rather go through the reunion kind of quickly and then talk about where they've been after.
Yeah.
So in the reunion, immediately we have to deal with Kendall and Nicole. I thought they were broken up.
I did too. Like, based on the body language, they had like a few things that they had to do together, and their body language was so weird. And I thought that they exclusively had to say this on the reunion because nobody had really talked about their status. They danced around it.
So basically, if you didn't know, when Kendall was in the villa, he had some nudes leaked all over, which is a very terrible thing to happen.
Whoever did that, I actually hope somebody outs them for doing that, because like, shame on you.
Yeah. Also, why do you want to sit there and claim that you hooked up with Kendall? Kendall's not even like most beloved, you know? Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to prove?
Funny.
Anyway, Nicole immediately makes it about her in the sense that she's like, this has been really hard on me. Now, I have a hot take.
Okay, I somewhat disagree with this at the start of her talking. They asked them, where do you guys sit? And Nicole like says, why don't you go ahead? And like, you start the conversation here. And it was weird. Like, he wasn't really saying anything. So I get that she's frustrated, being like, no, we're not in a good place.
Yeah. So basically, Kendall's been out and about on the town with the cast doing a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Nicole has it. And Nicole's been getting a lot of hate for some reason on social media. Kendall, I don't think hasn't. He's been getting a lot of support with the issues. I think the main issue is Kendall hasn't been coming to Nicole's defense at all.
I think what it looks like is that she broke up with him because of these nudes.
Yeah, the nudes.
Yeah.
Which apparently they were still together as of the day this aired.
Like, makes it even weirder.
Yeah, they just broke up. We're recording this on the 21st of August. They broke up yesterday. I thought they broke up in July.
I know.
Like, what?
So I get her being, like, peeved and not... And, like, we find out that he lied to her about where the video came from and, like, the details surrounding the video. So I get their relationship being strained and not in a good place. And her being upset. She is rightfully upset with him for her own reasons. But the way it went down on the reunion was super weird on both their sides.
It was super weird. To be honest, I think we spent too much time on it because I didn't care. Basically,
she got really defensive. I didn't like it.
Everyone else gave their 2 cents, which sucks at reunions.
So unnecessary. It made me think.
And then Nicole got even more defensive.
Yeah, we're like, she couldn't even say one word without everybody chiming in over her, which got her more defensive. And I was like, girlie, you got to stop. Like, because then she started like giving more details, and I was like, no. Because the details of why you were mad at him are about very private details that you should not be speaking on publicly.
Listen, I'm team Serena. If Nicole wants to be pissed that she got lied to each their own. But like, I think Kendall he didn't know how to handle the situation. If you can't get over that, fine. But you can't like attack Kendall for that anymore.
It's kind of like, we always say this about cheating. You either accept it and like get over it, or you like move on. But like,
can't keep living through it.
Kendall was like, we didn't talk for days and days. Like they weren't communicating at all. So they were not really in a relationship.
When I tell you though, this whole segment was like 9 minutes. I was like, I don't want to watch anything for 9 minutes.
I was like, okay, that's where we started. Then we're going to actually talk about the other couples that matter.
No, we really didn't. We only kind of touched on the PPG and their men because they're all official couples.
And but that was it.
We got 2 seconds. We didn't even talk about the winners and what they're up to. Cordell has a Cheez-Its brand. That's whatever. He has a Cheez-Its deal. That's all we know.
Okay, Serena's in a new apartment. Great. We already saw it on her socials.
Yeah, next. Daya talks a little bit about how like she was really happy for Serena and Cordell winning, and we should be nice on social media to everyone. And I was like,
Did you?
I agree. I'm not here commenting on people's shit, okay? I'm really not. But if you ask me, Daya, if I fucking care about you, the answer is no. Not really. I don't care about you enough to comment on your social media.
It's a fine line. Like, there's a lot of hate going on social media. There always is. And there is the like versions of like Chris Olsen posting, like an influencer posting videos and just getting attacked for no reason.
Yeah.
And then there's like, and some of this cast is doing this, where they are going online and talking a bunch, whether that's on podcasts, whether that's on lives, whether that's their own videos.
And people are going to comment.
And people are going to have a reaction to that stuff. Yeah. And like, sometimes it will be negative. And then there's also like you and I on this podcast, like there is going to be a lot of talk about this show.
Yeah.
And so like some is accepted and some is not okay.
Yeah. And if people disagree and want to like voice their disagreements with us, that's fine. We ask that you do it.
Put out our own opinions.
We ask you do it respectfully. But if Kendall's going to come on here and be like, you know what, I fucking hate Alicia too, I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, great, we match. You know,
they are getting in on a large scale. I understand a lot of their mental health is not okay, and that's the impact of social media and stuff like that. However, I'm so tired of all these people going online and putting stuff out there and being mad that things are coming back to them.
Yeah, like just
that does not include death threats, by the way. That is never okay. The bullshit stuff is never okay.
But if you're like, I disagree with what you did and I find it terrible, great.
Like, get off the lives. Like,
I like what
that's
Leah
not
said.
Being mean.
Yeah, I like what Leah said, where she was like, please don't talk about people on my behalf. I was like,
I love that she did that, and they included that because she has the largest fan base. So she's at over 3 million. She's larger than Ariana now. Like, that will, I think, hopefully have a positive impact on some of the like not okay stuff.
You know, it's kind of sad that she even like had to say that. Like, just stop commenting mean shit.
Everybody be chill.
Comment on what you saw, because like the character they play and are edited to isn't like the real person.
Yeah.
Like, do I find some of these people like I would never want to hang out with them? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care if they want to go to the grocery store. I'm not going to heckle them about it.
No.
The fuck do I care?
to jump ahead to today, did you see that Daya went on live and said that Ariana was wrapping up the reunion, and that's when she said all of this?
She's like, you're going to invite me here and not have me talk? Yeah, I don't know why you
Why did we invite you here?
You should have been invited. How about that? Yeah, that was the other thing. Why the fuck was Connor here?
Why is Harrison here?
Who's Harrison? Sierra?
Why was Sierra crying?
Nigel was somewhere there. Honestly, Coy even didn't need to be there.
I did not need his like weird apology to was it Janae and Kenny? Like, I didn't need that. I needed the main couples.
Yeah, to talk.
I needed the final four. I needed Aaron and Kaylor. I needed Rob. God.
Dude, I have such an issue with how they handled Aaron and Kaylor. So this was 90% of our season was dealing with these two. There's a lot to go through. And Aaron keeps talking about how he's like learned a lot and his mental health is like struggling because he's getting attacked. Yeah, you're getting attacked because you looked shitty on this TV show.
I bet. You did shitty actions.
A reunion is a time when you come on and you go, I've watched, I've reflected, I realize what I did, and I'm going to issue a genuine apology, and people can yell at me if they want, but like, I'm going to take ownership, right?
Yeah.
If he did or didn't, fuck if I know. They got all of 2 minutes.
We like got Kaylor's response that, and listen, sorry, Kaylor, I'm going to throw you under the bus here. You should have given us 5 weeks ago when you were in the, like on the island and when he came home from casa. That's what we got in this reunion. Okay, finally, we get it. But like, the only response we got from Aaron is that, oh my God, like, I don't get why you're so mad at me and like dogging me so hard because my grandpa died.
Yeah.
When is that an excuse for treating her like shit 6 weeks ago?
He's like, you didn't check in on me when I went on BFF's podcast and Dave Portnoy ripped me a new one.
Well deserved. Yeah, that's the only person who has held him accountable.
Yeah, Dave. Listen, a guy
who didn't watch the show.
Listen, Dave Portnoy and I do not see eye to eye on a lot, but
this time we did.
I support him on this. That was hilarious. And then he's like, yeah, did I fuck up? Yeah, because I put my hand down Daniela's pants and I kissed her and then I snuggled with her. And I was like, just take the ownership and be done. You have to list all the things you did. And you put your hand down her pants?
And Kaylor didn't know. Not knowing.
Kaylor didn't know about that.
Kaylor said that she and Aaron, they had been broken up for like 10 days maybe before they got to New York. They get to New York. They spent the night together in New York because this is a little harsh, but she's a weak ass bitch. And I get it. I've been there. there.
But if Kaylor wants to comment on our podcast and say Meredith's a weak ass bitch, fine. Be done with it.
Listen, I've been there too. I've been the weak ass bitch.
We're weak ass bitches sometimes.
She had a weakness. I hope the sex was good. But he had his opportunity
to tell her.
And he apparently was slowly saying shit all the time in New York. And so it's like, you had the opportunity. You brought some of this stuff up, but you couldn't tell me fully off camera. I would have lost it. I'm so happy she switched seats with Liv.
Yeah.
Because that was insane. And but like, let's hold him accountable though.
I loved all the girls clapping. Yeah, I love the girls clapping. But we really only got 2 minutes of them arguing, and then we moved on.
Like, as much as I would have I loved seeing PPG eat popcorn, I didn't necessarily need to know that they were eating popcorn between Kaylor and Aaron's like fight.
I wanted to go through. I wanted Ariana to be like, hey Aaron, we saw you yell I love you at Kaylor as she's trying to tell you her feelings about why she's hurt. Why'd you manipulate her like that? Why'd you use that? None of it. We saw none of it. We didn't even really relive the season at all. No. It was just like,
hey, I'll admit to one thing. I did put my hand down her pants.
How are you feeling today? Yeah,
but my grandpa died, bullshit. So don't ask me any more questions.
Yeah, and I was sad after Dave Portnoy yelled at me. Yeah, okay.
God.
So then we have to talk about, like, first of all, Rob is the only one asked if he has any regrets. Fucking open up the floor, to other people. And then we have to talk about Andrea, which this I loved because Andrea had said some shitty things about Leah, so Leah confronts her, and I was like, this is dope.
On After Sun, on Lives, like, Andrea post Villa, I just need that to be the case study on what she's not to do.
Unhinged. And Janae pulls out her packet and is like, you said exactly, page 4, you told Sally that Leah acts on emotions and you would never do that. Do you want to explain?
Your 100 lives.
Why didn't Andrea just go, Janae, run this, or Ariana go, Janae, run this reunion, go through your packet?
People are dogging on Ariana, and I'm like,
It got cut.
She has
cut
no.
bad. No.
No, I think it was run poorly. But Ariana is no Andy Cohen, where this is her full-time job to run reunions. She has an earpiece in, and people are talking to her. Like, come on. She is the host of Love Island, which, no offense to her, is not like some massive hosting gig. No. She was on the season like 4 times.
To be honest, she lost this reunion the moment Nicole went apeshit on Kendall. She doesn't know how to shut it down.
She was a viewer and not in a good way.
Yeah, and I think the way it was cut makes her look even more terrible because
Alicia,
we didn't do anything at this reunion.
I need to go back and watch it and count how many times we saw them get up from their goddamn seats.
Pizza Hut made so much money off this reunion.
The first time that came on my screen, I go, what is happening? Because the conversation was as if they were done with the reunion.
Yeah. I also love that they would get up and it would be like Cassie and Cassidy and Nigel. These 3
in
nobodies.
The green room.
And they'd be
People
like,
are so mean online.
It's so stressful out there. Oh, I'm so happy I have this pizza to eat. Die, Peacock.
What?
Die.
Listen,
whoever did that.
I understand, get your bag. That Coffee Mate wall, that's how you do it. There was like a real conversation happening and Coffee Mate was behind them.
You know when you do it before the reunion and you're like, oh, I gotta load up, carbo load before we head out there. I don't need to see every bathroom break. I don't. No. I don't care.
Like, give me the ad of them sitting down for pizza in their, like, separate groups because they fought so much and they're debriefing over pizza. That could have been great.
I know. Okay, so then we have the Andrea clip. So we get this 80 to 90 minute clip, if you will, about...
It was not that. It was 14 minutes. I recorded the whole thing.
Oh my God, terrible.
Which was really long.
Yeah, 14 minutes was way too... Let me tell you, at a reunion, you have 3 seconds before that camera should be moving. I should be seeing different stuff. And they showed us the full talk of the girls evicting Andrea. I didn't care.
I think the reunion needed to see the whole clip. I think Leah needed to see the whole clip. I think for their friendships and to rectify this amongst themselves, they needed to play that.
Fine.
But they can edit that to us.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Ariana can say, we are going to play the whole clip for the Islanders. For the Islanders will tell us that, like, we're not seeing everything. And then if there's still questions, the Islanders can answer on their own time. Or release a 20-minute extra clip 2 days after the reunion airs and give us the whole thing. So people who really care can watch it.
I didn't care. And that was basically the whole reunion, unless I missed something. I
mean,
it solved nothing, that clip. And then I got to thinking, like, why was this reunion so bad? And I'm like, it has to be something legally, right? Like, there's no way Peacock looked at this and went, this is a dope-ass reunion. This is exactly what the people want.
No, I think they did no preparation. I think all the podcasts, all the interviews took any air out of their, like, wings. Like, they ruined it before they could even get them on set.
Well, it was terrible. It was truly terrible.
It's disappointing because Love Island UK has done reunions and they put all the nobodies in the audience at these little tables and they're the audience basically. Yeah. And they'll cut to them and they'll have little snippets and like jokes with them so you can see them and like, yay, they're back. Yeah. That's what we needed. And then they go up on the couch, like the couples go up on the couch.
Talk to the main couples.
5 minute. Yep.
How have you been doing?
Any beef they have with somebody in the audience and they cover each grouping.
Yeah, this was terrible. Okay, do we want a quick hit on stuff that happened outside?
Well, I also have another pitch on how this could be different.
Oh, go for it.
Really quick, because, listen, not every host needs to be a reunion host. No. Alan from Traders doesn't host the reunion. Andy Cohen does. So let's just remember, there is an art to reunions, and I have been dogging on Andy Cohen for like 2 years about how the reunions have gone soft. But you know what?
I think he would have done this one.
Could have done 8 million times better. I will take an Andy Cohen reunion any single day of the week.
Listen, hear me out. If you want to test someone at a reunion, call me up. I'll try doing it. I would
I
get
will
in
be
there.
in that earpiece. I will sit where Ariana is.
Honestly,
I
think
will do
the
anything.
two of us, I think Chicks in the Office did a great job talking to these people, and I think the two of us could have done that reunion. I think we could have been flawless.
It could have been like,
dare I say,
you kind of need a good cop, bad cop, like Dr. Drew and Nessa on Teen Mom. Like, sometimes it's nice to have like multiple people to banter off of and to handle it.
And I would have shut people down so quick. I would have been like, Nicole, Kendall, we have to move on.
That's the thing. And everybody else stop. Everybody else stop yelling at Nicole, so Nicole can have her 5 minutes, and then they can figure it out in the cutting room floor.
I would have pulled an Andy. I would have been like, stop. We need to move on.
Yeah,
we're done with this.
We should have had time with just the finale couples, like not with the extras before bringing in the finale couples.
Yeah,
like
that was
the
weird.
Strategy was
get
off.
The extras out of here then. Yeah, crazy. Okay, but I do love watching them outside. All Peacock access now because now
but now I need like
rogue.
Other things. Again, I still really do enjoy this cast. So,
I do,
and I've heard that they filmed Universal. Kaylor has said that they filmed her watching the first episode of Casa. Like, I believe something else is coming. Like, there's no way you just have all this footage.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just like a drop of like, oh, here's them going home.
Yeah. So for the most part, the true beef or the true tea has been on the podcast or like watching them go to Universal, who's there. Like their TikToks are really crazy. I love their vlogs.
Everybody keep an eye on Leah's reposts on TikTok because that's where her true feelings sit.
Like Miguel surprised Leah in LA for her birthday. Serena and Cordell were there. I love seeing those friendships. Janae visited Kenny in Dallas. That was fun to watch. And he asked her to be his girlfriend. Very cute. Kendall was also there. Does he live in Texas?
I think he lives in Texas too. Him and Kenny seem to be with each other a decent amount.
And then the only other thing I had was Kaylor took Aaron to Chipotle for the first time.
Okay.
Before they broke up.
Since the reunion, there have been plenty of podcasts.
Amazing.
As we know, Kaylor and Aaron are not together.
Shout out.
Aaron wouldn't answer if Kaylor wanted to be back together, would it happen? And it's like, obviously it would happen. Do you think when things die down, those two will get back together?
No. Because I think Aaron... So I've only seen clips of the BFFs podcast because I was cracking up. Aaron's going to move to LA and he's going to be famous. And Kaylor currently is in Pittsburgh because she's 22 and she just graduated college.
Yeah.
She, I'm sure, will eventually move to LA. But if Aaron cared about Kaylor, he would have moved to New York to try and be closer to her. He's still in a different time zone.
I don't think where they live currently matters. And it would take him a while to move to LA, like visas and stuff.
And I think the public perception, like, Kaylor's not going to get back with Aaron.
Now that she has, like, her family and friends to, like, hold her accountable.
I think it's us. I think it's Dave Portnoy saying she would be so fucking dumb if she got back with him.
Oh, they were still together during that, so I don't think it's that.
But I think everyone making their comments, like, why would she get back with the number one most hated guy on the show, you know?
That's true.
And he's back in the UK with his mom right now, taking a break from social media because he's very upset by the way he's been treated, which I hope your mental health is better, but you have to take accountability for what you did and realize that, like, the viewership is women and we've all been there.
If he hadn't done any podcasts, hadn't said anything since, and people are hating on him this hard, I would be like, okay, like, let's let it die down. It's been weeks. But he has been on all these podcasts, doing the same thing he did to Kaylor from the moment she came back from Casa. Yeah.
See you never. Okay.
There were rumors that Kaylor and Aaron delayed the reunion for 4 hours because of a big fight. That did not happen. Kaylor was like, that would have been on camera. And I agree with that.
I agree.
But Kaylor and Liv were on 2 different podcasts since the reunion aired. It wasn't so chaotic, like nothing crazy came out of it except for that Aaron messaged Daniela after leaving Love Island.
I did know that. I did hear that he went into her DMs.
And then
didn't tell Kaylor or something at first.
He like told her like after the fact and it was weird, she said.
Yeah.
And then Aaron said he didn't tell Kaylor anything of the truth because he didn't want her to like feel bad and like she was good, so he wanted to keep her good. And I was like, no, you wanted to keep her good with you. She was not okay. Like, and you didn't care that she wasn't okay. You just wanted her on good terms with you.
Thank God Aaron is such a saint of a man. Really looking out for Kaylor. He's giving big, like, the Toms from Vanderpump Rules energy. Like, I think he's a mix of both the Toms, because
honestly,
sometimes he's very Tom Schwartzy, but this is very Sandoval-esque.
People compare Tom to Rob and Aaron, and I'm like, Rob only is because of his friendship with Aaron. Like, Rob's not a participating factor. I think, like,
Rob had his issues. Rob had his issues. I think communication's a big one. But I appreciate how he was very good at communicating. I just think Rob's kind of a weirdo. Like, if you watch him actually talk to people, he's kind of weird.
I think when he doesn't have time, he has said on podcasts that, like, he needs space to process his emotions. And without
I think it was
that,
heightened.
Like, he spiraled. I don't think that is really how he is in real
life.
I
truly think he's just, like, an awkward guy and doesn't know how to go about a lot of things. Like, when he was like, do you know how eels reproduce? And I was like, this dude's weird. Like, he's just kind of a weirdo, and, like, let him
which
be.
Is fine.
And when he was with Aaron, he was kind of supporting the toxicity in a way, but also I think he was just like, I don't know how to go about this social situation.
Gave the best advice to Aaron, though. He constantly would be like, have you asked her how she's feeling? Do you understand? Like, I think he's just a quiet guy and not really willing to.
And it's a weird situation for someone who doesn't want to be in it. Like, he was checked out at some point. He was like, I don't want to be here.
Okay, ending with Nicole and Kendall, because obviously, like, news has come out with them. But after the reunion happened, Nicole went on Viall Files. When she did the interview, was still dating Kendall. It was the weirdest interview I have ever listened to, watched. Like, she would constantly say things like, I can't believe okay, let me back up. I still believe she has every right to be mad, like, about what happened. He lied about a few things. Like, it wasn't just, like, where the video came from. And he lied multiple times. Like, Janae was the one who had to tell her, like, fully about the or he told her about the video, but, like, Janae showed her the video. And then that's when Nicole found out it was filmed actually in the hotel room right before Love Island. Just, like, a lot more details. So, like, Nicole was mad about that. He also lied about other situations. And so it was just, like, a big cycle of, like, I'm constantly finding out things from other people. Like, you're supposed to be the one telling me. So they stopped talking, but, like, they were together, and she was mad that he wouldn't contact her to see if she was okay, which I get and I don't, of, like, hey, I'm upset with you. Like, there's a slight bit of, like, are you okay? You can check in on people. But it seems like when Nicole wanted space, that meant to Kendall, like, no talking at all. So I get that dynamic. However.
Okay.
He also was spiraling. Like, you do need, like, this is a unique situation. It's not just he lied to you.
Busing. Yeah.
But then on the flip side, against Kendall, I'm like, you're going out and partying in clubs, and, like, you're just not handling this
out
right.
And about. Yeah. Ooch and a boot, if you would, for the Canadians.
The final nail for me to be like, you both suck, because I do think I don't like either of them.
I hate them both, yeah.
Nicole said on this podcast,
Oh no.
I can't believe he would put me in the position where, like, I would have to break up with him. She didn't say it exactly in those words, but it was like, I'm just mad I'm in this position. And Nick and Natalie were like, what do you mean? Like, everybody gets put in the position, and shitty relationships that shouldn't continue. Like, somebody has to do the breaking up. Like, what do you mean you're mad he put you in this position? She's like, I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to break up with him. I think she wants him to break up with her so she can say, well, he broke up with me. So, like, it's not that I left him in all of this chaos. Like, he left me. And that's essentially what happens. Like, they both put up their stories, and Nicole says, he broke up with me this morning. It explicitly states it.
Listen, I wasn't rooting for it.
No.
I don't care about either of you. I think both of you are going to have to take a big break from social media for a little bit.
I know.
Sorry, but did you listen to the other Viall File? Because he's had a lot of people on. He had Rob and Aaron. He had Kaylor.
I listened to the Rob and Aaron post-reunion. I didn't listen to Kaylor. I didn't listen to Janae. I think Janae and Kenny were on it. Yeah. I just don't like Nick enough. So if they went on other podcasts, I preferred those and listened to those.
Okay, fair. I also have had my beef with Nick. I feel like I haven't listened because I was like, I'll get there. But
the Rob and Aaron one is not worth it. The Nicole one, I would recommend people listen or, like, find a recap.
Okay.
It was gross.
I think just because Nick has probably seen this, he would cover it kind of well.
Yeah.
My issue with Nick is he usually like attacks women, like holds women to a higher standard that I'm always like, and he gives these shitty men kind of the backup of
I think did pretty decent with the Nicole.
Okay. The only person I think he's really done great with is Sandoval. Everyone else, he's like very wishy-washy. He did though, he posted a clip, Nick Vial. This is a Nick Vial hate podcast sometimes. But he posted a clip with, I think, talking about how like Aaron was really sorry for what he did and Nick believed him, and everyone was commenting and was like, hey, so this is the wrong opinion. I was like,
that was the Robin Aaron one, and it was, he's like, I just want to give him a hug.
Yeah, he seemed
what is
really
with men and these huggings?
Jesus Christ, stop hugging. But I would just like to say, for anyone on Love Island, you're welcome to come on this podcast, and I think we would tell you our opinions of you, but also continue to let you have a platform if you'd like to change our minds. I would initially, though, like to invite PPG and their men. That's really what I want.
I want more. That's why I want to leave this, is I just need more of PPG in my life. Well, I need something to be put together.
Leah's done. This bitch is done.
She's done with Love Island and Peacock, but like, get them on another, like.
It's true.
Get them on Hulu. Like,
Serena and Janae signed to the same agency.
Love.
Cordell's got Cheez-Its. Miguel's gonna move to California.
Cordell has the best endorsements. He is crushing it. They all are so authentic to him. I really think he is doing the best on monetizing. He had like a Get Ready With Me with like products. Like, he is doing great.
Dude, Cordell's absolutely hilarious. When all this Cheez-Its brand came from Serena going, what are your long-term goals? Yeah. And him going, what do you mean by that? And she goes, your goals long term. And he says, I'd love to
have a deal with
Cheez-Its. I just can't get enough of Cheez-Its. Like, that's amazing. So yeah, PPG and their men killing the game. I'm excited to see if Janae and Kenny move into the same city, if they both move to LA possibly, because that's where the rest of PPG and their men are. So
get them to LA.
I know this was a long one, but it was necessary, and I loved this. I needed this.
I can't wait for the next thing to just spark the internet's attention.
I think we're gonna have to do Love Island USA from now on.
Maybe
we're gonna have to watch. We're just gonna have to watch it.
Maybe.
But yeah, do all the things. We got Martha's Vineyard coming out if you're interested. If you want like a good show, it's a good show. I would recommend it.
And it only has 2 seasons. Come join us for Martha's Vineyard. Or
we also have most like 5 seasons. I think season 5 of Vanderpump Rules, our podcast, is coming out now. Also though, we have seasons 1 through 4, and then like
8 through 11
if you're interested in starting that to get to know Ariana more. We also do Summer House if you're interested in that.
Almost all of that. We're just missing 1 season.
We also if you just popped into our Love Island one, we have this podcast. We talk about random pop culture things, random things we're doing, things we would recommend. Come hang out with us. Sometimes Meredith and I, not to say we don't like have a ton of friends, but like we love talking to people, but we love a community that sometimes we just don't have. So if you feel like you need 2 people to shoot the shit with, that would be this.
Honestly, 2 internet best friends ready to discuss in depth any other topic.
Yeah, we're a virtual friendship because we don't hug. So check us out on all the shit. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining. Bye.